ready to take care of you. Well, it's season 21. Can you believe it? We worked really hard to reinvent ourselves, focusing on how we can respond to and connect with you viewers more and more. We've always let your questions drive our content. And your questions about what you want help with and what you want addressed this year have really changed dramatically. We have even turned our studio audience into an on-stage, fully participating focus group for every episode. We are getting very real, like people have never seen on television before. So let's just get to it. Disturbing numbers from the FBI show hate and racism are alive and well. From 2020 to 2021, a sample of some of the largest cities in America show that a little over 8,000 hate crimes were reported. And the Justice Department believes the actual number might be much, much higher because many incidences just don't get reported to police. This is such a nationwide issue that President Biden will host the United We Stand Summit this Thursday at the White House to counter the corrosive effects of hate-fueled violence on our democracy and public safety. An Eradicate Hate Global Summit takes place next week from September 19th to the 21st in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, these important conversations need to happen because did you know one community in particular saw the number of hate crime incidences against them more than triple? Yeah, you heard me. The Asian community saw a 224% increase in hate crimes. And the uptick in violence is most likely due to the scapegoating of the Asian community for the COVID-19 pandemic. Take a look.
There has been a massive uptick in attacks against Asian Americans.
A beauty supply store owner in North Harris County speaking out after she was attacked.
The beating caught on the store's surveillance camera. The attack left Kim bloodied and bruised with a broken nose.
This 91-year-old man was shoved to the ground in Oakland, California. And this 84-year-old Asian man lost his life after he was brutally shoved in San Francisco.
It's part of a disturbing trend since the start of the pandemic. Violence against Asian Americans who fear they're being targeted because the virus originated in China.
I want y'all to do something for me. I want you to imagine that despite knowing in the depths of your heart that you're a good person, wants good things for yourself, your family, and others, that there is a segment of the population that actually hates you. Hates you so much, they think about it, conspire about it, and given the opportunity, act on it to hurt you or kill you. Why? Because of how you worship or where your ancestors are from. You may even look like them, but they hate you and find you disgusting, even though you have never met. You may have no idea who they are, but they know you. And if they attack you, what would you do? Call the police, right? Well, newsflash. They might help you, but then again, they might not. So what do you do then? Well, I want to introduce you to a lovely family. Patricia, her mother, Narissa, and her dad, Gabriel, who say they found themselves on the other end of these statistics when they went for just a quick bite, just to go get something to eat, and things got violent really quick.
A drive-through encounter turns nasty when a man starts hurling racial insults at a family.
It went from bad to worse. In a matter of minutes.
I didn't even know him, and we're not doing anything.
Narissa Roque in this North Hollywood McDonald's drive-thru ordering with her daughter, suddenly hit by a car. The mother-daughter duo says the driver then pulls up alongside them, and then they hear this.
Oh, yo soy Asian.
and then a threat to kill.
Definitely threatening to kill us. I thought it was just gonna end with that.
But it didn't. A call to police is next as they pull over to a parking spot. Her father, Gabriel, arrives, and there is violence. The suspect appears to grab Narissa's neck. A witness tries to intervene. The father's rib is broken, as are their hearts.
And he just hurt us like this. It's traumatized us.
Startling moments captured on camera, as was the case while we were interviewing the family's attorney. A woman walked out of the McDonald's and spat on our camera. A family now twice up close to hate, hurting.
I'm afraid to go out. I'm afraid to go out. My daughter, I keep telling them, lock the door.
Well, please welcome Patricia, her mom, Narissa, dad, Gabriel, and family attorney, Sandy Rojas. I'm very proud to meet you all. Very sorry for the circumstance.
Thank you.
I wish we were here talking about anything else. We watched the video. You had the presence of mind to flip your phone on, right?
Yes.
This escalated pretty fast because he left and then came back around to taunt you?
Yes. We thought that it would be the end of it, you know, just having to witness us being verbally abused after the traffic collision. But unfortunately, he went back to the scene and basically started assaulting.
Was he behind you in the drive-through?
Yes, before he got out, yes.
And he rear-ended you? On purpose?
We don't know, but it was very sudden.
He rear-ends you, then backs out, goes around, but then comes back around and starts screaming at you through the window.
Yeah, before he actually got back around, he actually, once he got a good look at my face and my mom's face, that's when he started verbally abusing us, mocking us with a racist Asian accent, and then got out of the drive-thru, got out of the restaurant, and then went back again to actually threaten to kill us.
Take me through this moment. What did you feel when he actually started threatening you and your mother?
I was very much scared, not only for myself, but for my mom. It was just the two of us, and we were obviously defenseless against this man. And for him to threaten us, it was something that I never would have imagined in my entire life. It was definitely frightening.
Did it hit you that he was doing it purely because you were Asian?
Yes. Once he took a good look at us, he started saying those things to us. So yes.
What did you say to yourself about that?
You know, I didn't think of it at that moment, but when I look back at it now, I question myself, you know, why am I being targeted just for looking the way I am? When it shouldn't be a bother to myself nor to anyone else. We aren't doing any harm. Again, we're just getting food late at night at a drive-thru. So how can my race and ethnicity be a problem to do simple things like that?
I'm so sorry that that happened to you. What did you think at the time? Did it register on you what was happening and why?
Ang alam ko lang, takot.
She didn't know at that time. The only thing that she could ever register was fear.
And how long did it take your dad to get there?
5 minutes.
So pretty quick.
Yeah.
And how long did this go on?
For more than an hour, I would say.
Jeez. When your dad got there, what happened?
Well, when my dad got there, the verbal abuse had already ended. We were told by 911 to just stay in the area and wait for police to arrive, to which we did. But unfortunately, the suspect remained at the area, and we were considerably far from him. You know, we were told to stay out of his way, to which we did. But we thought that that would be the end of it, you know. Especially with my dad being there, it was definitely way easier to just calm down and assess the situation, because there are now the three of us and a couple of bystanders. But unfortunately, it escalated into something more than The verbal abuse.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
And it turned into an assault on both of my parents. He was definitely choking her. And at one point, he wanted to hit my mom's face, but thankfully she had deflected it, but it hit her in the chest.
And later, that's what they were asking.
Yes.
Did you? Come on, it's insulting.
It gets worse, Dr. Phil. You have to hear. What else did they ask you, Narissa?
Thursday, there have been 27 school shootings so far this year.
I just started screaming her name, but I never heard anything back.
The police officers, we failed you.
What do all these school shooters have in common?
They feel like the world has ignored them, and now they're trying to get everybody to pay attention.
Lock up your guns where they cannot get to them. That's Thursday. Then on Friday,
she had come out to her teacher as transgender. There are parents who are going to reject their identities.
Are schools overstepping and trying to take the place of parents? That's Friday.
An Orange County woman says what happened to her at this Irvine amphitheater will haunt her for the rest of her life.
She says the concert was amazing, except for the group of people standing directly behind her. They were belligerent, and when they spilled alcohol on them,
I hear her say, "These Asian don't let them ruin our night. They don't belong here anyway."
Fan admits this wasn't the first time hearing this,
but the worst was when she saw everyone around her do nothing.
You got there and he started attacking you, right?
He approached my daughter. He was banging on the car door where my daughter was in. So when I saw that happen, I told him, keep off my daughter. And that's when he assaulted me. He tried to hit me, but I avoided it. It hit here. It hit my shoulder. And then he pushed me downwards towards the pavement of the parking area. And that's where my rib hit. And I felt it crack right away.
You had a broken rib, right?
Yes, I did. The pain came in gradually, but when it manifested itself, it was very hard to move.
And then at that point, he's much larger than you. He has you down. He's attacking you. What'd you think when your mother bailed out of the car and went to help your dad?
Well, the minute I saw my mom got out of the car, I rushed in and helped her as well, because this was a 6 feet man, 200 pounds. He was basically towering over my dad, and my dad has him pinned to the ground. And so it took a lot of manpower for us to separate the both of them.
At one point, you say that he was choking your mother.
Yes, he was definitely choking her. And at one point, he wanted to hit my mom's face, but thankfully she had deflected it, but it hit her in the chest because of it.
I'm so sorry that this happened. She's obviously still very traumatized by this.
We're very much all traumatized, especially to the both of them. Not only the physical trauma, the emotional and the mental trauma that it had been brought upon the incident, not only to them, but to me and my family as well.
Yeah. And there is a little things still trigger you, right? Just people, noises.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah. You know, Sandy, you deal with this all the time. There seems to be a lack of willingness to react to this, a tendency to trivialize it. Why do you think that is?
I think it has to do a lot with the first responders, the law enforcement, and how they treat the victims. Many victims, they're scared to come forward as it is. And when they call the police, there's a delay in the response. And not only that, as the family will tell you, when the detectives spoke to the family, they were treated as though they were the suspects. They felt as though they were cross-examined. And they were almost deterred from coming forward. Narissa will tell you that some of the questions that the detective asked her were inappropriate.
Well, let's talk about that. I want to take a break here because I don't want to hurry you with that. And I want to talk about what they were asked, what they weren't asked, and what actually happened. Because the reason these things are so underreported is exactly what Sandy's getting ready to tell us here. And that is the reaction they get when they do report it. You're not going to believe what happened, but we're getting ready to tell you. We'll be right back.
Marissa, can you tell Dr. Phil about what the detective said to you a few days after the incident when you received the call?
President Trump referred to COVID-19 as the China virus. And since then, there has been a massive uptick in attacks against Asian Americans. In New York City, such crimes are up 1,900%. Some say there's a connection.
Actress Olivia Munn is speaking out about this gut-wrenching video, an assault on an Asian American woman.
She's launched through the air, like horizontally, just launched through the air. And this guy just walks off and thinking he can get away with it.
It hits home for Olivia because her mother is of Chinese descent. Olivia was so upset, she went on Instagram and appealed to the public for help. My friend's mom is a 5'3", 50-plus Chinese woman, and she was attacked by this guy. She left the hospital with 10 stitches in her head. Sam Chang says the video of his mom being attacked like that will stay with him forever.
Our people are living in fear of walking outside of their doors right now.
We're talking to a family that is absolutely traumatized after being attacked while they were just out grabbing something to eat and were attacked verbally. Then it advanced to assault. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, right now, we've been through a time where the rhetoric has gotten out of control. Words aren't violence. They're not acts. People don't bleed from them. But, man, does it set the stage. And, Robin is a crusader in domestic violence. How fast does it go from verbal abuse to physical abuse?
Very quickly. When you allow someone to verbally abuse you, you're basically telling them, it's okay, I accept this.
Yeah, and people have to get out there and make noise about this. You and Olivia Munn are good friends.
Yes.
How passionate is she about this?
So she's very, very passionate, of course, because of her mother, because of her family heritage. I spoke to her last night and about this very topic, and she is very, very passionate. She's just had a new baby, and she has stepped up on speaking out about taking care of her family and supporting the Asian American community.
Yeah, Patricia says police took the incident down, and how did they record it? As a traffic accident. What kind of questions were they asked when the police showed up an hour later?
Ang tanong lang nila is, anong nangyari? Bakit kami binangga? Yun lang.
We were only asked as to what happened and why we were rear-ended. And that was it, along with the standard procedure of how everything happened. But those were the two main questions that we were asked.
But Dr. Phil, those are not the questions that were disturbing and upsetting to myself and the family. Marissa, can you tell Dr. Phil about what the detective said to you a few days after the incident when you received the call?
Kung meron daw kaming nasabing hindi maganda, kaya siya nagalit kung bakit niya kami gustong patayin.
She was being asked if there was anything that we said to him or did something to him that might have caused him to verbally abuse us and assault my parents that night.
You started it. That's what they were asking,
Yes.
did you? Come on, it's insulting.
It gets worse, Dr. Phil. You have to hear. What else did they ask you, Marissa, about going to court, about hiring an attorney? What else did they ask you?
It's disgusting. They're trying to talk her out of pursuing this case. Do you think there's a prejudice there that it's because they're Filipino? people at the darkest hour of their life call Ben Crump.
He fought for the families of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
All we're trying to do is get America to see the humanity in people of color.
What is the biggest obstacle you've had to overcome?
All white juries.
Fill in the blanks.
How does it feel knowing you've got enemies up there purely because of the color of your skin?
That's a great question.
Available on Apple Podcasts.
What else did they ask you, Narissa, about going to court, about hiring an attorney? What else did they ask you?
Ang sabi nila na ang mga abogado daw inuubos ang pera ng biktima, wala naman daw nangyayari, nandyan daw ang gobyerno para sumagot sa lahat ng gastusin para sa abogado.
The only thing that lawyers do is basically drain you of your money, and that the government is there to be the ones to help you in times of crisis.
So what detectives said was, Narissa, are you sure you want to prosecute this case? Are you sure you want to miss work and go to court and go to trial? And if you hire an attorney, it's going to be very expensive. And I'm here to tell America that I represent these cases on a pro bono basis. There is no cost to represent the victims. I said, absolutely, I will help you and ensure that your constitutional rights are protected.
Yeah. By the way, I've spent a lot of my career in litigation, in jury work and trial work, and a lot of my career in deception detection and body language and all that. And I don't understand a word she says, but this is obviously a very honest, straightforward woman. She just is a truth teller. You know, and a detective that would be talking to her would clearly know that these are honest, straightforward people. I mean, a rookie would know that talking to it, let alone someone that's been on the force forever. I'm sorry, I just, it's disgusting. So they're trying to talk her out of pursuing this case. Do you think there's a prejudice there that it's because they're Filipino?
Oh, absolutely. I think when you talk about being invisible, that's how America sees Asian Americans. We're taught culturally to be quiet, to not make moves, and to stand on the sidelines. And this is how we should act to be American. However, my job as an attorney for victims is to encourage victims to come forward. I was just talking to Patricia earlier this morning and saying how much she's grown since this incident. When I first met her, she was afraid to come forward, afraid to have retaliation from the suspect who was at large for quite some time before he was apprehended. And this is why we're here, and we thank you, Dr. Phil, for giving us the platform to bring awareness to the victims that they can seek justice and they can get help. And there are attorneys out there who will help them.
Well, when I heard about this and my producers brought this, they were very passionate about this, and they know that I am. Anybody have a question or comment they want to make from the audience? Yes, ma'am. Do you have a mic?
I want to say it also, like, family background is also very important. Family should teach their children, like, you know, there's not only us kind of people, there are so many other kinds of people. The parents should teach the children and, you know, allow them to grow, like go outside and see, in a safer environment, of course, but go out. This is America. You can see all these beautiful cultures. You have so many colors of friends. You can learn the food. It's out there. Just the parents have to more encourage them, go out and see other people.
Such a great point.
I think it's very
such
important
a great point.
for people, very important.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I definitely think it's really important to be teaching kids at a young age. I think particularly in schools, I wish that when I was in school, I'd been able to, or been given the opportunities to learn more about other cultures, because no one is born racist. I think everyone is an amalgamation of their parents' beliefs, in my opinion. And the more that we are teaching it to kids early on, the more it's going to get phased out. And I hope that that happens.
Yeah, you bet. The more you're exposed to, yeah. I'm so glad that you're pursuing this, and charges have been filed. Now, first off, when they got there, he was still there, right?
Yes.
And injured him. His rib is broken. He's choked your mother. You two are over there having to pull him off of your father. You've got so much of what went on video, so it's not like he said, she said. You've got video evidence of this, so of course he would be arrested. That did not happen, did it? You've now met this family, right? If this is a family that you would be proud to know and have in your community, stand up right now. You've got so much of what went on video, so it's not like he said, she said. You've got video evidence of this, so of course he would be arrested. That did not happen, did it?
No.
They gave him a citation to show up at trial.
Yes.
At a hearing. He didn't show up.
No.
And he's only now in the system with a court date because he was arrested in another matter in another community here in the LA area, right?
So when he was detained in custody, we were not informed that he was in custody. When he was arraigned and did not appear in court, we were not informed that he failed to appear. And then he failed to appear a total of 4 times. At the 4th hearing, that's when we asked the deputy district attorney to request an extraction order to have the court order him to be physically compelled to appear in court.
And?
He did appear in court.
And is he in custody now?
He is in custody.
Okay, so he's in jail.
Correct.
So they will march him to that hearing.
Well, no. So if he doesn't appear again and if he refuses to appear, we would have to request another extraction order.
Okay, but he's in custody.
He's in custody, but he can refuse to get on the bus.
So the sheriff can't bring him, oh, if he says, nah, I don't want to go. The sheriff can't bring him over there.
With an extraction order, the sheriff can.
But you'll have to get another order.
Correct.
Yeah. Wow. Now, was there a demonstration, a protest to get their attention? What did you do?
Well, after we had gotten, Attorney Sandy to represent us, we had actually established like community protests, rallies at the actual courthouse. This was during the time when he wasn't in custody, so we wanted everyone, law enforcement, to bring attention to this and to prosecute him and bring him to custody and prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law. And even though that he's in custody now, we're still trying our very best as a community to raise awareness and hold different campaigns, community meetings in order to get this case out there as far as it can reach, because this is very much important.
It really is. I think it takes a lot of courage to be here and draw attention to it. And, I ask all of you listening, you've now met this family, right? If this is a family that you would be proud to know and have in your community, stand up right now. I need to stand up. I just want you guys to look around the room and see.
Out of all places, it happened when they were out in our neighborhood. That just goes to show that the situation is only increasing. And so that just made me more agitated and pushed me even more to raise awareness about the issue.
These Berkeley, California 8th graders are creating their own lessons on life.
Education is the key to fighting racism and stereotypes and biases. I could do that.
It's what 14-year-old Mina Fedor says she and her classmates have experienced firsthand.
I was just walking down the street with my mom, and this random lady on the street coughed in her face.
As attacks on Asian Americans spiked, she took action.
I'm saddened by our elders being attacked.
organizing a youth rally last spring that inspired her to start AAPI Youth Rising, which developed a plan encouraging schools to teach Asian American history.
It's very crucial to, I guess, sort of changing people's minds, undoing stereotypes.
What do you hope that other young Asian Americans can learn from you?
I guess that
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
they have power too.
One of those most moved, their 8th grade math teacher.
Really, I'm in awe and just amazed at what they are able to do, inspiring us older people to actually do something and not just sit back.
Don't think about your age, just go for it.
Overcoming adversity with a lesson of hope.
Boy, out of the mouths of babes, right? Teachers become the students, and the kids, they just have this purity of sight, so we need to listen to them. How do you feel walking around the streets now? Are you nervous, anxious?
Very much so. I mean, before even all this incident ever happened, I was still pretty much reluctant to go outside all by myself. And now that this has happened, I'm even much more afraid now than ever, you know, whether it be day or night. I just don't go out alone walking at all now.
Yeah. And how about you? Are you nervous about going out?
Traumatized.
Yes, she's very much traumatized. She has mentioned to me, or to us from our family, a lot of times now that even at work, she's still very much afraid to go to work. So is my dad.
Yeah, yeah. And your brother Patrick is here. Patrick, thank you for being here as well. It's hard to hear that your family's been attacked and somebody has their hands around your mother's throat. What's been your reaction to all this?
Honestly, it's been hard to believe that, you know, like an incident of that gravity would ever happen to my family. Like out of all places, it happened when they were out to, you know, grab a midnight snack in a random drive-through in our neighborhood. That just goes to show that the situation is only increasing. And so that just made me more like agitated and pushed me even more to raise awareness about the issue. So.
Well, listen, this kind of thing does have an effect. And particularly when you've been physically attacked, you can experience PTSD, which is a post-traumatic stress disorder. And this is a anxiety disorder that can affect the brain itself. It can get in a loop, and it most definitely can leave you where you respond to noises, you respond to triggers. It comes up in your thinking, and you can have nightmares about it, and it can cause you to shrink your world up and really withdraw. And, you know, there are some things that you can do to help that behaviorally. And, you know, one thing people in the Asian American community can do is not withdraw, but to connect with other groups and help overcome the unknown, help overcome ignorance. I mean, just in the time that you've spent here, you've seen the reaction from people that take a minute to get to know you. You know, the number one need in all people, by the way, is acceptance. And the number one fear is rejection. But the number one need is acceptance. We all want to feel that we're accepted and that we belong. And if we don't feel that way, if we feel like we're marginalized or ostracized, that's a very unsettling feeling. And the only thing that overcomes that is connection and communication and outreach. But on an individual level, PTSD is very real, and it doesn't tend to go away with time and on its own. And Your mom seems particularly traumatized by it, and it does respond to treatment and it does respond to help. And I would love to offer to arrange for her to have some professional help with this. We can do it in the privacy of your own home. Telemedicine is very effective and very important, and we can make arrangements for her to do it privately that way through Doctor on Demand, which is a company my son and I started years ago, and we can arrange for her to have someone that speaks her language so she can be comfortable in communicating and help her work through this if she would like to do that. Would you take that help?
Yes, thank you.
And for both of you as well, if you think you would like to do that. I'd just like to do anything possible to help, and because I want you guys to be at peace and get back to where you were before this happened.
Definitely. I mean, even after all of this has happened, you know, we're still fighting back against this. You know, not only do we need justice for what has happened to us, but to anyone else, not only within the Asian American community, but to other vulnerable and marginalized communities as well, to those who are reluctant to speak up about this. You know, we want everyone to know that they're not the only ones alone in this.
Yeah, no, there are others, and you know, you're quite right. It is not just the Asian community experiencing a rise in hatred against them. In fact, we're going to meet a man who was a victim of a brutal gang assault in New York and says he was targeted solely because he is Jewish. We're going to hear that story next. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to say, I mean, it's hard to just fathom why people do this. I think the only way that we can ameliorate this situation is by taking a look at insecurities and nipping them in the bud as soon as we see them, like in our children. If we have friends, we can set our boundaries. No, don't talk to me like that, you know?
Yeah, people who feel good about themselves and wish others well don't do these kind of things. You know, it's those that have problems inside. We're out of time today, but we've only started to scratch the surface with this alarming trend. Tune in tomorrow when we'll meet a man named Joey who says he was punched, kicked, and pepper sprayed by a group of young men. What did bystanders do in this case? What happened to his attackers? And why aren't more people talking about anti-Semitic crimes? Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. There was a double-digit spike in hate crimes last year, and it has continued to rise.
Honestly, I was holding on for dear life.
Joey says he was punched, kicked, pepper sprayed only because he is Jewish.
I spent 8 years in the American white supremacist neo-Nazi skinhead movement. I thought I hated Jews, blacks. The truth is...
New Dr. Phil. Do you guys think this was a worthwhile discussion to have? That's tomorrow. Please understand that it takes a lot of courage for these victims to come on a platform like this and talk about what has happened to them. It is so much easier to just put your head down, stay home, and just let it pass by. That's part of the reason why hate crimes are so underreported. I can't tell you how much respect I have for those who have a willingness to come and speak out about it. As for today, I would like to thank all of my guests, Sandy, Patricia, Narissa, and Gabriel, and invite them to return tomorrow when we continue this conversation. I really hope you will take the help that I offered with Doctor on Demand. And those of you at home, if you want to have your own Doctor on Demand, which is a company my son and I started, just go to Apple Store or Google Play Store and download the app, and you can have that available to you. You guys know where to find me on social media, where I hope this conversation, this dialogue continues, because, look, it needs to continue. Don't forget to follow and subscribe my podcast, Fill in the Blanks, and don't forget to follow and subscribe Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret. We'll pick all of this up again tomorrow. Thanks for being here today. So long.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My daughter was stabbed 40 times. Her throat was slit. It was personal.
How far will a father go
The police are incompetent.
You've accused them of knowing who the killer is.
to find his daughter's killer?
You've lost your job, house, everything in pursuit of this. You've been showing up at gang leaders' homes, asking questions.
Absolutely.
That's a good way to get shot.
I'm all in.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Today we are taking a closer look at two crimes that have gone unsolved for over a decade. One is the story of a serial rapist targeting pretty college-age women. The search for this serial predator, dubbed by police as the Ramsey Street Rapist, began over 12 years ago. But first, Lindsay was only 24 years old when she was targeted and brutally murdered. Take a look.
Saanich police are casting a wider net as they continue their search for the killer of Lindsay Buziak.
Investigators arrived to find 24-year-old realtor Lindsay Buziak stabbed to death inside a home she was showing.
Lindsay was stabbed in excess of 40 times. Her breasts were mutilated. Her throat was slit to the point of decapitation.
Investigators believe she was lured to the house by a man and a woman posing as prospective buyers.
Police told me that initially Lindsay was stabbed from behind at the base of her skull. Her spinal cord was severed. The details of Lindsay's murder are absolutely horrific. It is nasty.
Police have found no evidence of a getaway car or a weapon. Even a search of thousands of cell phone records has so far turned up nothing.
Investigators have more questions than answers, such as, was the killing planned, and if so, who was involved?
Knowing the details of how Lindsay was executed, she was 5'2.5", 99 pounds. Her murder was excessive. It was personal. It makes you want to kill.
My family and I have established a reward for information. If you know anything, please call the police, even if what you know seems inconsequential.
You would expect that given the severity of the attack, that we may have had greater success with things such as DNA, and the reality is that that's not the case.
11 years after the murder of Victoria realtor Lindsay Buziak, her family still has no answers.
Those of you who are involved in Lindsay's murder, we are not going to stop. We are coming for you.
Well, Lindsay's father, Jeff, says he is willing to die in pursuit of justice for Lindsay. In fact, he almost did when a gang member pulled a gun on him and threatened his life.
I've devoted the last 11 years of my life solely to finding out the conspirators and killers of my daughter. There isn't a day that goes by I'm not thinking about Lindsay's murder. I'm all in. I feel at times I'm putting my life on the line, but it's all for my daughter. I've met with gangsters, drug dealers, criminals to either confront them or find out if they can give me any little bit of information on my daughter's unsolved murder. Sometimes I reach out to the criminals, and if I can't reach them, I go to their homes. I've had a gun pulled on me. I've been confronted with physical aggression, people telling me we're putting you down, bitch, and I remain undaunted in my pursuit. I go to these people because I believe they know what went on, and if they don't, they can find out fairly quickly. I went to the morgue, held Lindsay's body. I said to Lindsay that I would find out who did this to her, and I would not stop trying till I died. Lindsay's unsolved murder has basically destroyed my career, destroyed me financially, and really challenged me psychologically. Until you've walked in my shoes where you've had a child murdered, it means everything to you. And the people that tell me I need to move on, you don't understand.
Well, Jeff, I'm glad you're here, and I am happy to turn a bright light on over this and keep it in people's minds, because it's tragic what has happened, and I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate what you're doing.
This crime is just horrific. I understand that she was stabbed like 54 times. This doesn't sound like a random attack. It sounds very personal.
Yes, sir. It's not a random attack. It's personal. It's by someone close to her, someone she knows well. Orchestrated, planned, and executed.
So you think this was targeted, and she was showing a house at the time, right?
That's correct. She was called to show a home, and she showed up there, and they executed her.
The caller that Lindsay talked to was a female.
That's correct. She spoke to the female various times, which got her concerned, and then the male called her the day of the showing.
Okay, and you said there was a Hispanic accent that set up the appointment for that day at 5:30?
Lindsay told me personally that it was a strange accent. That's what alerted her and got her a bit cautious about it. She thought it was Hispanic, but it didn't make sense to her. It didn't sound real.
Witnesses saw a blonde woman and a 6-foot-tall man meet Lindsay and enter the house. That's what the witnesses have reported?
That's correct. I spoke to one of the witnesses, and really they said, Jeff, we were driving by, glanced over, had to look back at the road. Okay. We saw a female meeting a couple. That's what the witness told me.
So the police believe that she was murdered just within minutes, 10, 11 minutes after entering the house. So she hadn't been in there long.
That's correct. I understand she met the couple at 5:30, and the police say the time of murder was between 5:38 and 5:41.
Okay. Now, you say you've been frustrated with the police, and you even believe that there might be some conspiracy or cover-up here. Why would you think the police would want to cover up a murder?
Well, it could be somebody important in town. Lindsay did say she saw something she shouldn't have seen. The police have not been forthright with information or even what they're doing or suspects or anything. So after 11 years, you begin to wonder what's really going on down there at that police station.
The truth is, and I know this was in British Columbia, but I know in the United States in 2017, which are the most recent statistics we have, 38.1%, almost 40% of murders committed in the United States went unsolved. Mm-hmm. And if you go back historically across time, that is the case.
This is my daughter. This is my child. So I won't accept that.
Oh, I don't expect you to. But when you say 11 years, there must be some conspiratorial cover-up. There is an uphill battle here, and they say there was no DNA or fingerprints there.
Privately, they've told me they do have some DNA and fingerprints. So there's where my questions begin. I've got lots of false information from police over the years.
So they told you they do have DNA?
That's correct, but publicly they say they don't have any. They do not work her murder day by day.
Yeah. But you've been working it day by day, nonstop, correct?
Absolutely. It was my child. I just can't walk away from this. I work it every day. I have a mandate on myself that I have to do at the very least one thing every day towards helping solve Lindsay's murder.
Well, you've been showing up unannounced at criminals' houses, drug dealers' houses, gang leaders' homes. You just show up unannounced and knock on the door and start asking questions, right?
Absolutely.
That's a good way to get shot.
It is. Typically, these people know who I am. I know who they are, so it's not like it's some big surprise. Victoria is a small community. I lived there 28 years. These people know when they see me why I'm coming, and they just don't want to talk to me, and so they get aggressive. And Dr. Phil, I live by this belief and this faith that I'm not going to be touched. I'm not going to be touched. And if I am, I'm 64, done my duty. If it's my day, I'm good to go.
Yeah, but that's not justice for your daughter, is the point. All right, next, from posting the names of town residents he believes are conspirators and conducting polls online about who murdered his daughter, Jeff says he doesn't care who he upsets as long as it brings his daughter's killer to justice. I want to talk about what he's doing on that front after the break.
LindseyBuziakMurder.com was created to provide a place to express opinions about Lindsay's murder. Typically, everybody uses a pseudonym when they post on here, mainly because they fear for their lives. They feel that Lindsay's murder is unsolved for all this time.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
That if they're exposed as being involved, they could be killed too. The website can be controversial at times because people are named that people or myself think are involved. On a fairly regular basis, I'm threatened with either lawsuits or I get threatened physically. To me, that's just trash. When I hear the threats, that fuels me to push harder. I have no intention of shutting down that website because that is the public forum.
Well, it's been 11 years since 24-year-old Lindsay was targeted by unknown suspects and savagely murdered. Now, her father, Jeff, says he believes the police are not only incompetent, but covering up who killed his daughter.
I have my own personal theories regarding Lindsay's unsolved murder. I believe Lindsay's boyfriend knows what went on with Lindsay's murder. Police ruled him out as a suspect, but father's intuition tells me otherwise. Every year I hold a public walk for justice in honor of Lindsay. The walk ends at the police station because I feel that's where the responsibility lies, to solve Lindsay's murder. I think the police are not handling this investigation properly at all. I believe they're incompetent, they're not doing their job. I'm very public about my dissatisfaction with police. I don't know anywhere in the world where an organization takes 11 years to accomplish a task. Their task is to solve a murder, and 11 years is not acceptable. I don't believe the police are capable of solving this case, and I think they're hiding something, someone, or covering up the murder itself. The police asked me to shut down the Lindsay Buziak murder website. The officers mentioned to me that there are things on the website that could jeopardize the integrity of the case. I asked them, I didn't even know you had a case. Do you have one? And they won't even answer that question.
Well, to be very clear, Lindsay Buziak's boyfriend is not considered a suspect, and it has been reported by police that he has passed a polygraph and found to have been very cooperative. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think in order for a conspiracy, particularly one to hold together for 11 years, a lot of people have to be involved. A lot of people have to hold together and not crack or make a mistake in some way. And that's just, I've just been in this for a long, long time, and that's highly, highly unlikely. And my experience with law enforcement is that they try and do a really good job, that they work really hard at what they do. They put themselves in harm's way to keep the rest of us safe every day. Doesn't mean there aren't bad apples in every barrel, but my experience has been that they're generally highly devoted, sincere, hardworking men and women. That's been my experience with law enforcement, and I work with them a lot. You've put some very critical things up on the internet against the Saanich Police Department. On social media, you said the police know who and why and are afraid to say. They screwed this up. They botched their investigation from day one, cannot recover, save face, and protect their friends. Police seem to think it is okay to have killers walking free amongst people. And then in interviews with the media, you've questioned their professionalism and competency. You've accused them of knowing who the killer is.
Dr. Phil, I can give you a recent example. I was out there in December. I had somebody willing to talk to me about information regarding my daughter's murder. I convinced that person to speak to the police, which I always do. That person was not contacted when I returned to Victoria in February. When I questioned the police, they said, "Oh yeah, we'll put that on our to-do list."
But if you don't think the police are competent, if you don't think they're doing what they're doing, and you've got somebody there that says, "I have information about who killed your daughter," you just said, "Well, go tell these incompetent people over here." You didn't say, "Pull up a chair, tell me what the hell you know."
Well,
that seems...
I do that. I offer to fly anywhere people are that tell me they have information, and I'm prepared to do that with that person. But I tell them, I can't make the arrest, so you need to tell the police this.
But you didn't want to know what they knew.
I go public with everything I know.
Well, you go public with a lot more than that. You've gone public with names of who you think's involved.
Absolutely. I put their names there, and some of them, their pictures are there.
All right, Jeff says when he held Lindsay's lifeless body in the morgue, he promised that he would find her killer. Now he says he doesn't know how much longer he can mentally and physically continue his pursuit. We're going to talk about the toll this is taking on him when we come back. Well, Jeff says he dropped to his knees when he learned his daughter, Lindsay Buziak, had been brutally murdered. That was 11 years ago, and still the case remains unsolved. Now, this has taken a toll on you mentally, emotionally, physically. You've lost your job. You've lost really everything, right? House, cars. I mean, you've given up everything in pursuit of this because this is your number one priority and nothing gets in the way of it, correct?
That's correct, Dr. Phil. I pursue this daily, and I always say when people ask me, you know, what does that mean to you? I say, all in. I'm all in.
What do you think happened? Why do you think she was killed?
And she saw something she shouldn't have seen. She was jeopardizing people's lifestyles. They executed her.
You say she told you don't know what it was?
No, I don't, Dr. Phil. She said, I can't tell you right now, Daddy, but I will. And I know the reason she said that because she was in the situation. And she knew that if she told me, I would tell her to remove herself immediately, and she wasn't ready for that.
You've related this to the authorities, and they've investigated this, and said they have at this point no reason to believe that any of that is true. They don't have any suspects regarding what you're saying.
They don't believe anything is true, and they don't have any suspects. I don't know what they do.
We did get a statement from them, and I'm going to read it in part. I'm going to put the whole thing up on drphil.com, but here in part is their statement. At no time has the investigation been declared a cold case, and an investigative team is presently assigned. We are aware of criticism from some family members. The details of our investigation must remain confidential. While the police will always try to communicate and update families, the necessity of maintaining confidentiality to ensure a successful prosecution remains our priority. The Saanich Police remain committed to working in partnership with the RCMP. We will continue to work for justice for Lindsay.
That's not a truthful statement. They declared it a cold case. They called me into their office on year 2 and said, Jeff, this is a cold case now. We've done our investigation. So I said, okay, turn over the file to me, which I'm entitled to, and information from the file. So they said, well, why don't you go have lunch and we'll call you after lunch. I did. They phoned me while I was at lunch and said, Jeff, we had a meeting. We've decided now it's active, so you don't have access to any of the case. So they will not keep it a cold case because they know I'll get information, and so does the media entitled to information. So they just keep it cold case. The other thing not truthful there is the officers assigned are, yes, assigned to the case as their PR terms, but they work general detective work. That's not acceptable for me.
Well, I understand, and I understand your frustration here, but somebody did this heinous crime. And people that do this kind of thing, they talk, they tell somebody. somebody has heard something about this somewhere, and you may not recognize how consequential some little piece of the puzzle you might know, but when it's snapped together with another piece of the puzzle, it can make a difference. So look at this picture, and if you have heard someone talking about this, if you saw something, if you know something, pick up the phone. I don't care if it's been 11 years or 12, 13, 14. This is a crime that deserves to be solved. This man deserves to have justice for his daughter. So if you know something, if you can help, please, please, please pick up the phone, give a tip to the authorities, and let's see if we can get this thing solved. That's what we're here for. That's what we want. Okay? All right, fair enough?
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Next, she survived a predator who authorities have been hunting for 12 years. A serial rapist attacking a young woman on a 3-mile stretch off of...
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
Ramsey Street in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We're going to talk about that after the break. In March of 2006, police say a man began stalking and sexually assaulting young women as young as 15 years old along a stretch of street in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Now, Kobe says she was a junior in college when she became the Ramsey Street rapist's 5th victim.
The purpose of this conference is to notify the public of a suspect targeting women in the northern portion of Ramsey Street.
Most victims say they were raped in an apartment or condominium. One woman says she was raped while she was running in the area.
The rapes instilled fear among the residents of that North Fayetteville, Ramsey Street area. The Ramsey Street rapist is a particular type of woman he was looking for, white females in their 20s.
I remember my assault like it was yesterday. It was a night that I will never forget. My roommate and our mutual friend went to bed around 10 or 11. I fell asleep watching TV in the living room that night. I woke up suddenly to a pillow being pushed down on my face. My attacker also grabbed my throat. He told me that if I screamed or made any noise, that the other two would get it.
She says he took her outside the apartment and raped her, while 2 friends slept in another room.
I decided that I was going to cooperate. Therefore, he was not aggressive during the attack. I never saw his face, but I do remember his voice. The last 11 years, I've lived in constant fear, looking over my shoulder, knowing that he had my address. Was he going to come looking for me? Was he going to try to find me?
We formed a task force for this case. Thousands of hours were spent by our department. Hundreds of hours were spent by the state crime lab processing evidence, and probably spent several years on these cases, and we're unable to identify them.
Well, Kobe, it's good to meet you. I'm really glad you're here willing to talk about this because it makes a big difference. You say you woke up with a pillow over your face and your throat just tightly grabbed. You were in his control the second you woke up, right?
Yes.
And you still remember there was a odor and a distinct voice, yet you never saw his face, correct?
Yeah, the smell was almost like a sickening sweet. That's, the best way I can think to describe it. And he definitely had a very southern drawl when he spoke.
And do you know how he got in?
He broke in through the sliding glass door on our back patio.
What went through your mind at that time? What was your thought process?
I wanted to cooperate so there wasn't any harm done to anybody else and to get him out of there as fast as I could. He
starts taking you out back and you go, 100 yards into a wooded area?
Yeah, it was from our back patio. It went through like a little tree line and then there's an open field that is where the attack started.
Did you think this was that he was intending to rape you or to kill you or both? What was your thinking? Was this question in your head?
It was. At that time, I really wasn't 100% sure what his intentions were. I hadn't seen or felt any kind of weapon yet. So I didn't quite have that fear yet that he wanted to kill me.
And you're there how long?
I would say not even 10 minutes.
Okay. Then he brings you back where he found you, correct?
Yes.
What's the last thing he said to you?
The last thing he said to me was, go inside, sit down, don't call the cops, and make sure you lock the door behind you this time.
Did you find that odd?
Yeah, because I second guess all the time whether I actually left the door unlocked or not.
He took your ID.
He took my entire purse that had my phone, my wallet, my ID.
And your fear, of course, is that he knew where you lived.
Yeah.
Well, after over a decade of searching, a suspect was finally arrested and charged after DNA ancestry websites helped provide a break in this case. Plus, Kobe says that nearly 12 years after her attack, she is still haunted by what happened to her. We're going to talk about all that after the break. Fayetteville police say that over the past 12 years, they never stopped searching for the man they call the Ramsey Street rapist. But just last year, there was a huge break in the case, which led to the arrest of a suspect.
Police say they have caught the man known as the Ramsey Street rapist in Fayetteville.
43-year-old Darrell Bowden was arrested last night by Fayetteville police and U.S. Marshal agents at his home. It's about 5 miles away from where a series of rapes had occurred.
Police say they tracked him down using the same DNA testing that caught the Golden State Killer.
We got a match yesterday. Yeah, I'm just glad we got the guy finally.
The morning I got the phone call that a suspect was captured, it was a huge relief. It literally felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders.
Darrell Bowden stood quietly as the 32 felony charges against him were read out loud in court. The 43-year-old is accused of raping 6 women between 2006 and 2008.
We drove down for the bond hearing, and that was the first time that I ever saw him in person. I felt every emotion, fear, anxiety. Anger was a big one. I could not bring myself to make eye contact. Every time I would glance at him, even for a brief moment, I would feel nauseous, knowing the things that he had not only done to me, but to other women.
Most victims say they were raped in an apartment or condominium. One woman says Bowden raped her while she was running in the area.
I still struggle, wondering what I could have done to make sure that this guy was captured and that he wouldn't hurt anybody else. In the back of my mind, I just still have that guilt.
Well, joining us is Lieutenant John Summerendike. He is a Special Victims Unit Commander for the Fayetteville Police Department and has been dedicated to solving this case. Lieutenant, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Now, this is something that you worked on across time. I want to take a look at the timeline of this, because on March 31st of 2006, the village of Carvers Falls Apartments, there was an attack. Then August 23rd of 06, 4400 Ramsey Street. Then February 12th, 07, Bubble Creek Park Court Apartments. Then March 6, 2007, a second assault at the village at Carvers Falls Apartments. Then September 18th, 2007, Kobe's assault at the Heather Ridge Apartments. Then January 26th of 08, a second assault at Bubble Creek Court Apartments. So we have this just really centralized here.
It lives about 5 miles north of the Fayetteville city limits, is where Ramsey Street ends at the city limits, in a small community called Linden. So probably for every single one of these cases, by the time we arrived on scene, he's probably already safe back at home.
An arrest has now been made.
Yes.
And this is 4 months after sending DNA to CeCe Moore, where some DNA comparisons could be made. And so the arrest has been made, but there's been no conviction yet. So still a suspect, so it's still alleged at this point. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Now, not only is she responsible for the arrest of a suspect in the Ramsey Street rapist case, she has also helped authorities identify suspects in 38 cold cases in the last 10 months, all from her couch. We're going to meet this extraordinary woman and learn how she does it after the break. We've all heard of the popular DNA ancestry websites where by just spitting in a tube you can unlock the key to your heritage and long-lost relatives. Well, now it is helping solve seemingly once unsolvable cold cases. Cece Moore is the chief genetic genealogist at Parabon. Cece is considered the foremost expert in the field of genetic genealogy and has co-founded the Institute of Genetic Genealogy. She spent years helping adults reunite with their biological families after being abandoned as children. Now she's adding solving cold cases to her resume, all from the comfort of her own home. Take a look.
Information you share about your family's DNA might be helping authorities catch suspects wanted for violent crimes.
Fayetteville police use genetic genealogy DNA testing to help locate Bowden.
La Mesa police announced an arrest in the 2006 murder of Scott Martinez.
Virginia Freeman stabbed and strangled.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
DNA and genealogical research has pinpointed a killer.
A mother's torment as her daughter's killer is sentenced for molesting and killing little April Tinsley.
We're so numb and emotional right now.
Cece Moore, head of the genetic genealogy unit at Parabon Nanolabs. Her unit cracked the cold case after her lab combined DNA evidence samples from the case with a public genealogy database.
Law enforcement here and around the country using genetic genealogy to solve cold cases and give victims' families justice.
I think about the victim's family all the time when I'm doing the work. I mostly just hope that it brings a sense of closure and peace.
Well, so you understand, Cece's work helped arrest a suspect, Daryl Wayne Bowden, in the Ramsey Street rapist case. But she has never met Kobe in person until now. Cece, come out and please meet this young woman.
It's so nice to see you. How you doing?
Really good. Oh, I got some makeup on your jacket.
Hi.
Good to see you. How are you?
Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
I know Dr. Phil better than you might think.
Yes. Cece knows a lot about me and a lot about my family because I did a show called Finding Your Roots on PBS with Professor Gates, and you did all the DNA work. Here is an example of how Cece narrows in on a suspect, and it all starts with the match. And Cece, kind of walk us through this.
So the crime scene DNA is compared to a database called GEDmatch. And there's about 1.2 million people in that database. We're looking for people that share significant stretches of DNA with that suspect. And then based on how much DNA someone shares with him, I can reverse engineer his family tree based on their family trees. So our chart here shows two different matches. They each share about 1% of their DNA with our unknown suspect, which means they're probably third cousins with him. They also share DNA with each other, which means they should have a common ancestral couple. So if I can figure out how match number 1 and match number 2 are related, then I know that the suspect also has to descend from that same common ancestor. This particular case was a little bit more complicated than that, but this is sort of the general idea of the work that I'm doing.
It helps them go identify a suspect, then they can start the investigation from there as opposed to just shooting in the dark.
Right. I'm providing a highly scientific tip, but the investigators still have to build that case against that person.
Right.
There's no way they would arrest based on genetic genealogy. They'd only be able to do that if they could confirm my findings and build a case against that person.
And there have been a lot of cases that have been solved. Raymond Charles Rowe murdered and raped a 25-year-old elementary school teacher. The case was 25 years old. You helped identify him, and he pled guilty. John Dale Miller murdered and molested an 8-year-old girl. The case was 30 years old. He was identified and pled guilty. Spencer Glenn Monette raped a 79-year-old woman. The case was 3 months old. He was identified and pled guilty. So these are just some of the cases that through this work they were identified. How can you at home help CeCe crack her next cold case? We'll talk about that after the break. CeCe Moore, who is a pioneer in the field of genetic genealogy. She's now using her skills to solve some of the country's most notorious cold cases, and you at home can help. So how can viewers at home help by building out this database even more?
There are about 26 million people who have participated in consumer DNA testing. So they might have tested at Ancestry DNA, 23andMe, MyHeritage DNA, but law enforcement doesn't have access to those databases. And so if someone has taken a test like this, they can choose to download their raw data. That's their genetic ATCs and Gs in a file, and they can upload it to a public website called GEDmatch, or GEDmatch Genesis. If they do that and they make it public, then that's available for us to help law enforcement resolve these cold cases, and we've even been working some active cases as well.
Has my data been uploaded?
No, you would have to have given permission for that.
Well, I give permission for that. So if you know how to do it, you
I
have
have
my...
your data, so I could.
Okay, you have my data?
I do.
Well, will you do it for me?
Sure.
There you go. And I hope you'll all join me in doing that as well. So please do that. And thank you for your work. How are you doing after all of this? Are you doing better knowing that this person's caught?
It's been better. Still have daily struggles.
If I were to arrange some very specialized help for you to kind of make some progress on healing these wounds that have been left behind by this, is this something that you would avail yourself of?
Absolutely. I would really appreciate that.
Okay, well, we'll do
brave,
that.
isn't she,
Yes,
coming
she
forward
is.
like this?
Yeah, so we want to help you with that. Okay. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to CeCe Moore and Paramount for all the good work they're doing. Also, thanks to Lieutenant John Summerendike. If you at home have any information about Lindsay Buziak's murder, please call 1-888-980-1919, and I'll have those numbers up on our website as well. Also, if you have any information in connection to the Ramsey Street rapist, please call the Fayetteville Police Department at 910-433-1851 or Crime Stoppers at 910-483-TIPS. If you have a question for me, please go to drphil.com. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe to my new podcast called Fill in the Blanks. That's PHIL in the blanks. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. He's never met.
Is she real?
You can go see her. Do you know what it costs to fly? $38.
I was under the impression it was a lot more than that.
You think you might check? You spent $25,000 and you don't want to blow $38 to go look her in the eye?
Or is he being catfished?
David sends money to Maria $1,500 a month.
Now,
she was good enough to give you her address, so I sent my people to Houston.
The address Maria gave David is non-existent.
wait till you see the twist.
The woman David believes is Maria does exist. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. Shelby came to the show yesterday concerned that her father David was being catfished by a woman calling herself Maria. Now, David said Maria had reached out to him through Facebook and they married over the internet. I didn't even know that was a thing. Even though they had never met or even talked on the phone. He was insistent that this beautiful woman was indeed his real true love and was in no way a scam. And that they would soon be rich because Maria was not only beautiful, she was set to inherit $10 million. All David had to do was make one final payment to her lawyer for investment fees. Then they would drive off in their Ferrari and live happily ever after. Here's what's happened so far.
When my parents got divorced, I began to live with my mother full-time. Once my father moved, I did not know of a way to contact him. When my father moved back, I was excited, but in the last 6 or 7 years, he has not reached out or given me the opportunity to get to see him.
But then, 2 years ago, Shelby did get a call from her dad who wanted to share some exciting news. He found a new woman.
He went off on a tangent about how he is 62 and she is 32, and they've never met in person. They got married over the internet. I said, "Excuse me?" My father told me her name is Maria. She has this inheritance that comes from the German government.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
He must find someone who loves her for her before she can get this inheritance.
Now, you say that he's worked a lot more on his relationship with Maria than he has with his own daughter. He sent her $25,000. He'll text with her 7 or 8 times a day.
Correct, yes. It's hurtful that he puts her first so much.
You know, I'm just an old country boy from Texas, and, you know, when I use the word wife, it usually describes somebody that I've at least met, okay?
The moment I saw her picture, after I picked my jaw up off the ground, I heard bells, I heard angels sing, I heard the harps. She just is gorgeous. In 6 days, we will have the money transferred to my account. We'll be getting $1.6 million. I'm very excited about it.
You're soon to be a multi-millionaire with a beautiful wife coming to you, correct?
Yes, sir. I couldn't be happier. We have a daughter from her previous marriage of hers, and she's just a bundle. You know, she's great.
Well, this is the first time that you've actually seen your daughter in 7 years. Do you feel badly about leaving her to deal with her mother's death by herself?
I'm human. I know I could have done better.
You say I'm human. Humans make mistakes. Is it possible that you're making a mistake about Maria?
It's impossible to be a scam. I don't think she's ever lied to me.
Maria has told me before that she works at a Piggly Wiggly. And when I pointed out that there is no Piggly Wiggly in Texas, she said, "Oh, but I do work at a grocery store."
I had a producer on the ground in Texas investigate.
Maria said she worked in a food market here in Austin, and that market's called the Royal Blue Market.
We went to all 6 locations.
Total strikeout. No one knew Maria.
So that is a complete fabrication. Who married you?
I don't know. That was up to the lawyer.
So you just signed your name on a piece of paper and some lawyer told you, okay, now you're married?
Yes.
What's the lawyer's name?
Michael, and I don't know his last name. She's told me, but it just hasn't been an issue.
Did you provide this lawyer with proof of identification and sign an affidavit in front of a notary?
I sent all my phone, my driver's license, Social Security, everything involved. They had me investigated.
I'll bet they did. Shelby says her 60-year-old father, David, thinks he's in love and married to 32-year-old Maria from Texas, who he's never met. David, you're in Florida, and the nearest airport is Orlando.
Well, no, actually, Gainesville has a large airport.
Okay.
International.
Okay, so Gainesville. She is in Austin and or Houston?
Houston.
Depending on when you talk to her. Houston?
Yes.
Okay. And you've been knowing her how long now?
Since June 6th of 2018.
Okay, so almost 2.5 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you don't live together.
No.
And you haven't met, but you are head over heels in love with her, right?
Yes, sir.
And you went to Italy to meet a woman, right?
Yes.
And that's like, what, 3,000 miles or something?
Yeah. I don't know exactly, but it's a long way. It's a 23-hour flight.
23-hour flights, for a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what it costs to fly from Houston to Orlando or Gainesville?
No, not a clue. I never checked into it because we're putting all our money into getting the fees paid off so we get her inheritance.
Yeah. Well, a one-way ticket is $38.
Oh, my God. I had no idea. Honestly.
I had no idea.
It's a 2.5-hour flight, and for $38, you can go see her. Round trip is $75. You can go see her for $75 round trip, or $38 just to get there. So
I had no idea, Dr. Phil.
You've been knowing her for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
You've been married, and for $38, you could be standing next to her in the produce aisle.
Where she works.
And,
Or may not.
And you haven't figured that out?
No, absolutely not. I never thought of it. Every penny that we get, we put down on the to pay our fees.
David. Let me apologize for interrupting you.
It's okay.
But I gotta give a common sense alert here, buddy. Come on.
What?
It costs $38 to go see the woman and daughter that you are head over heels in love with. You've heard all the love songs. There ain't no mountain high enough, and you won't spend $38 to go see Maria?
Well, Dr. Phil, I was under the impression it was going to cost a lot more than that, honestly.
Well, you think you might check?
Money that she's inherited. We're purchasing a Ferrari for Maria. She's always wanted one. It's black. It's just gorgeous. There's nothing like looking at a new car. Nothing like it. We looked at a home the other day. Marble floors, kitchen that you get lost in. The money will be coming in very, very soon. And we'll get our life started together. She's such a great woman. I think we're going to spend a whole lot of happy years together.
Now, come on. The fans, not the players. Come on. This is just you and me talking. Do you really not want to know? Are you caught up in the exhilaration of it, the fun of it, and you really don't want to know? Come on. This is just you and me talking.
Well, no. Yeah, sure, I'm caught up in the exhilaration and the opportunity to have a happy life. Of course, that's what everyone in the world wants. They want to be happy.
And you say you didn't want to spend the money. You've spent $25,000 and you don't want to blow $38 to go look her in the eye?
Well, I can only tell you this, Dr. Phil. I never dawned on me it's $38.
Well, it was $838. That beats the hell out of $25,000. I believe I would go check and see if this woman actually exists.
You would think.
Wouldn't you?
Sure. I do now. You brought it up. I don't know what to tell you except for the truth. Everything that I've said has been the truth, and I'm honest. I'm listening.
David sends money to Maria, $1,500 a month. Gave $1,000 to fly the lawyer to Germany to let the investment company know how serious he is. gave the lawyer $25,000 in 2.5 years, and there's a final payment due $1,100. Don't you think you might want to pull $38 out of there and go check on her before you ship that?
Well, I'll cut into my food budget or whatever, but the $1,100 needs to go there. And actually, I'm not paying 11. She's paying 3, and I'm paying 8.
Oh,
she has
well,
a child
there you
to
go.
take care of, doctor.
Well, you know what? I wanted
she
to
has a
save
daughter
you.
to take
I
care of.
wanted to save you $38, so I sent my people to Houston because she was good enough to give you her address. She was forthcoming enough to give you her address where she and her 5-year-old daughter live. First it was Austin, but then it turned out to be Houston. So I sent one of my producers to that specific address to just say hello and let her know that we were just involved in the situation. Here's what happened.
Hey, Dr. Phil. I'm here in Houston, Texas, and I'm going to go investigate the address that Maria claims she lives at. Maria told David she lived on this street. The address she gave was 3872. The only problem is the house numbers on this street only go up to 3842. The address Maria gave David is non-existent. I've noticed this is a very high-priced neighborhood. Quick check on a website shows some homes costing upwards of $1.5.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
$5 million. Maria says she works at a grocery store and is a struggling single mom, so it's interesting that she also says she lives on this street. Maybe Maria made a mistake when she gave David her address, but so long as I'm here, I'm going to speak to some of the neighbors and see if they recognize this picture of Maria. I knocked on several doors in this neighborhood. No one wanted to talk on camera, but I can tell you that no one recognized the woman in this picture. It's obvious to me that this woman, Maria, does not live in this neighborhood.
And David, didn't she also tell you she lived in an apartment?
Yeah.
There are no apartments on that street. Those are all single-family dwellings, $1 million and up.
Wouldn't she have given like an apartment like A, B, or like the letter or the number if it were an actual apartment rather than just the house number?
Doesn't matter. There are no apartments on that street.
Fair enough.
It's not zoned for multifamily. It's zoned for single-family dwellings, and they're $1 million and up.
Okay.
That's a phony address.
Is that not weird to you, David?
Well, sure it is. The whole situation. You know.
Did you not check into any of this, or like before you started sending thousands of dollars to a lawyer you've never met, you didn't make sure this person was more real and tangible?
No.
You sent $1,000 for him to fly to Germany, but you didn't see if it was $100 for you to fly to her?
All right.
Well, let's call the lawyer. And let's confirm David and Maria will have the money this week. Let's call the lawyer.
It'll be next week.
We have his number. Can we get him on the line?
We're sorry. Your call did not go through. Will you please try your call again?
Huh. Number's dead. Let's dial it again just to be sure we hit the numbers right, because everything else is sure checked out.
Where did you get that number, sir? Did I give it to you, or?
Yeah.
I don't recall. Okay.
Yes, you did.
Been real busy lately. It's hard to remember everything.
Yeah.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. Please leave a message after the tone.
That's what I get sometimes.
Yeah, this is Dr. Phil in Los Angeles. Curious who I'm calling here, what law firm this is, and I'd be interested in hearing back from you. But I'll try again. Let me tell you what else we found out about Maria, just in checking on just in checking on her.
May we take a break, Dr. Phil? You've sapped the life out of me here with all these things.
You know, she didn't want you talking to me, of course. Maria said, "Baby, I'm not happy about this Dr. Phil of a thing. Why will your daughter be taking us to the world? That means ABS doesn't believe me. I don't like this at all. I don't like being in all of these kind shows." So she wasn't crazy about you talking to me, which I can imagine. But let's look at what we know about her. Because we checked on her birth date and we checked on all the vital statistics. So who is Maria? Maria Donna Walker, date of birth 7/15/88. Yet according to our private investigator, no one with this name and date of birth currently lives in or has ever lived in the United States. Person doesn't exist. You go to the database, just does not exist. There is no one by that name that's ever been born. Maria's inheritance, a German-Nigerian lawyer in Austin, Texas, helping with the inheritance. Yet according to the PI, the lawyer's number is assigned to a Go Text Me, which is an untraceable virtual number. The producer called, got voicemail, general automated message, no details. David says $10 million inheritance at the Bank of Germany. Yet throughout the entire country of Germany, there is no bank by that name anywhere in Germany or anywhere in the world. It just doesn't exist. There is no bank by that name whatsoever. So Maria doesn't exist with that date of birth or that name. The bank doesn't exist in Germany by that name. And the lawyer, that number is a Go Text Me virtual number that is used by and listed on scam sites. When you go look on scam sites, they tell you these are the numbers they use because they can bounce around the globe and you don't know where they're coming from. They're not real numbers attached to real locations. So Maria's address says she lives in an apartment in Austin, yet gave a Houston address. It's a neighborhood with houses. 3872 on that street in Houston, Texas. That address doesn't exist. The house numbers don't go that high, and there aren't any apartments on that street. So that address doesn't exist. So she doesn't exist, the bank doesn't exist, the address doesn't exist, the employment doesn't exist. But that's not all. Oh, coming up, I have a really big surprise for David, because Maria is not deaf, and he's going to talk to her right after the break.
I love Maria. I believe that she's a very good Christian. She just knows who her Lord and Savior is and isn't shy to tell someone, spread the word. She knows her Bible. She prays. When there is a problem with us, she says, God, helping us, babe. He's in charge. She has love for sinner and saint. You know, that she doesn't see any difference. Well, you can't ask for more than that.
I've been talking to Shelby and her father David about his online relationship with a woman he has never met. He says he's married to her. Her name is Maria. David says that they are married and he has not been able to see her yet due to putting all their money towards their lawyer, who is arranging for a $10.6 million inheritance. Well, my team did a lot of investigating, and I'm here to report that the woman David believes is Maria does in fact exist. Those pictures are of a woman, but she is not in Texas. She is in fact in Sweden. Her name is not Maria. It's actually Angelica. Joining me virtually is Angelica. Please say hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Angelica. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, but I'm feeling really sorry for David.
Well, David, you're looking at the woman that is the picture that you have had labeled as Maria. Angelica, how many people do you know that have used your photos to scam people into believing they're someone else?
3 people, actually, has done the same thing.
At least 3 other people have taken your picture, put someone else's name on them, made up a story, and pretended to be someone else. I'm very sorry for you that that's happened to you. David, it's got to be surreal to be looking at the person that for 2.5 years you have believed to be Maria. You're actually seeing her in live action for the first time. That's got to be surreal for you.
It's heartbreaking.
Okay, now David, look, I know this is a lot to process. It's not easy telling you all of this. Take a minute.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description
to gather yourself, because I know this is overwhelming. So you take a break, and I want to come back to you in just a minute. We'll hear what David has to say. We'll be right back.
Question to you, sir.
Please.
Can Maria see me now? Can she hear me?
Angelica can.
Well,
Yes, my name is
Maria.
not Maria. My name is Angelica, and I live in Stockholm. And I also have a twin sister. Hi, my name is Jessica.
Holy mackerel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you both for joining us. This is very helpful. As painful as it is to David, I can't tell you how much this is helpful to him. David, what do you want to say?
Well, Dr. Phil, I'm not very often speechless. I pity Angelica. I hope she can find God and be a better person. You don't treat people like that, Angelica. Come on. I know.
No. Wait a minute. Let me be sure you understand. Angelica has nothing to do with this. She hasn't been pretending to be Maria. There is a very likely a Nigerian man, probably in his late teens or early 20s, that has stolen their identity, and that's who you've been talking to.
I understand now. Okay.
Angelica and her sister have social media accounts, and these pirates, most likely Nigerians, have stolen their pictures and pretended to be them. You're probably talking to a 20-something-year-old Nigerian man. That's who has pretended to be Maria using their pictures.
Okay. Well, first of all, Angelica, I'm sorry. You know, you're still pretty, and I still like you. You know, both of you.
Thank you. We feel really sorry for you, David. And we also feel sorry for Shelby, your daughter.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you want to get married? I like Angelica too.
Oh, no.
Angelica and Jessica have nothing to do with this scam. They are victims just like you are. They've had their identity stolen, and you've had your money stolen and your heart. The 3 of you are victims, just as is your daughter Shelby. Everyone on screen here are victims. They've had nothing to do with this other than to have their identity stolen. I want to be very clear about that.
Yes, sir. God bless y'all. You know, the world, there's crap people in it. You're not one of them. You're just doing the best you can do to be happy like anyone else.
We just wanted you to know the truth.
I know, and I appreciate that. You know, God sees what they do, and they see what you do. You're not a bad guy. You're not the bad guy, you know? You've been taken advantage of just as well as I have. So, you know, live and learn, I guess. Boy, it's a hard lesson.
Well, David says he wanted my help to get to the bottom of this and fix his relationship with his daughter, Shelby. I want everybody to stay right here. We'll be right back. I'm back with Shelby and her father, David, and two very compassionate and caring young women, twins, Angelica and Jessica, from Stockholm, Sweden. They have had their identities stolen, and we strongly suspect that this is part of the Nigerian ring of catfish, that scammers that steal people's identities and pretend to be those people in getting involved with others to milk them for money, and in the process really do a lot of emotional damage and take up time and energy and steal that from their families. And David, you have a daughter here that you've not been close to, and she obviously cares an awful lot about you because she went to all of this trouble to protect you, and I hope
It's a smile.
I hope this can be a real springboard for the two of you to start to rebuild your relationship. All the time and effort and energy that you've put into this fictitious relationship, hopefully you can invest that energy into a relationship, rebuilding a relationship with your daughter Shelby, because I think you owe her a great big thank you and a great debt of gratitude for saving you from getting deeper and deeper into this and getting you out of this before it got any further. She cared enough about you to go to all of this trouble. And God bless you, Shelby, for caring enough to do this.
Of course. He deserves the truth.
And
you deserve my love, and you have it. You are something, girl. You blow me away. Thank you from the heart. You know I mean it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a completely different side of you that I haven't seen in many years.
I changed. I'm a Christian. God changes people. You know that. I never met a Christian any better than you. I thought Maria was. Dopey me. You know.
It happens.
And
I
David,
got $38 to get to where you're at.
well, David, I know that this is difficult to hear, but let Shelby be there for you. And listen, I take no pleasure in telling you this, other than that it gets you out of it. And you will mourn this relationship because you believed it was real, and it will be a void in your life. Let Shelby fill that for you, and let her help you with that. And Shelby, if you believe that your dad needs some help with this professionally, you let us know, and we'll make arrangements for that as well, okay?
I do, sir. I do.
Well,
I need help
listen,
I need to learn how to be a good father.
Well,
Quit being
we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I will make arrangements. I'll set you up 10 sessions right away with a therapist with Doctor on Demand, which is a company that we actually founded and in our family, and we can set you up for some help there, and we'll do that right away. And again, Angelica, Jessica, I'm very sorry that you've been victimized in this way, and thank you all for caring enough. I'm sure it's getting late in Sweden right now, but you guys have cared enough to stay up and be involved in this, and I thank you. Shelby thanks you. David thanks you, and I really hope that people will stop using. I understand why they do. I mean, you're obviously very glamorous twins and all, but I really hope that people will leave you guys alone. But thank you so much for contributing.
Thank you.
God bless you, ladies.
God bless. All right, thanks so much. If you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, go to Google Play Store, the Apple Store, and download the Doctor on Demand app. I would like to thank all of my guests today. If you believe you have been the victim of an internet love scam, go to FBI's special website, ic3.gov. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And by now, you all know I have a new Facebook group called Dr. Phil Fanatics. That's P-H-A-N. It's a private group for superfans where you'll get the latest Dr. Phil news first and maybe even get a surprise message from me every once in a while. You never know when I'm going to pop up. Hey, superfans, Dr. Phil here. In order to find this, just go to my Dr. Phil Facebook page, and if you'll scroll down a little bit, there's a bar there, shop, post, and you see groups there. Touch groups and pop. There you go, Dr. Phil Fanatics page, and you can join right there and become a member of this special superfan group. I want to say hey to some of the superfans. One is Karina, and she said, "What do you think of my felting, Dr. Phil?" And there's a picture here. I didn't know felting was a verb, but I get it now. Well, you gave me extra hair, so I appreciate that. That looks like it was fun to do, so I'm flattered that you did it. Don't forget to subscribe to Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret. We'll see you next time.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
I'm not sure how my father was feeling after the show. I expected him to not be great.
Really crushed. Just heartbroken. It's been a long time since I've had hate in my heart. I've been pouring my heart out to some loser in Nigeria, being scammed, believing every word of it. I can't believe that they were able to just sit there on that phone waiting for a call so they can me. It's devastating.
I really do feel bad for Angelica. I think it was helpful for my father to see the true identity behind the photos.
The girls were taken advantage of as well. Their pictures were used to scam me. I'm in a daze. It's hard to think clearly right now.
I think my father learned his lesson. Sadly, he may fall for this again.
I'm not sending more money. Come on, man. I mean, I'm a putz, but I'm not totally brain dead. I feel my heart was in the right place. I was naive, but I was doing the right thing. I went to the food bank when I was out of money so they can live La Vida Loca. Dr. Phil and their team, no matter how heartbreaking and tragic it is, did what Shelby asked them to do. He left no stone unturned. He checked everything that you could think of to prove that this was a scam.
I'm very thankful for Dr. Phil's team and their help. This has really helped my father to see the reality and bring him back.
I can't change it. I can just learn from it. I have to do a lot of rebuilding and start over again. But you know what? It isn't the first time I've started over.
I'm glad that is out of the way so that he and I can focus on our relationship now and hope to move forward.
The bottom line is I have a closer relationship with my daughter. When I do get to see Shelby, I simply want to smile at her and tell her I love her with all my heart. And I respect her, bottom line.
Today on Dr. Phil.
He would fit in the palm of your hand.
He's biting his tongue.
And his lips. He started scratching really bad to the point that it would bleed.
These infants cannot feel pain. Well, let me get a list of the stuff you're assigning me. If you want to be in a video, you want to win $1 million.
A Tesla.
I'm running out of ink, buddy. Slow down here. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready. take care of you. Planning families, along with the joy comes an understandable amount of fear and anxiety. Quite honestly, many of us worry that our perfect angels won't even make it to see the light of day, belt out their first cry, and be held forever in our arms. The road to birth can be rough and not a straightforward one for many people. Now, for Lance and Julie, they dealt with fertility issues and several miscarriages before finally getting pregnant after 4 years of trying. But then, just 24 weeks into her term, Julie was rushed to the hospital to have a frighteningly early C-section with their son Jackson. Now, tiny Jackson weighed only 1 pound and 3 ounces, which meant he was called a micro-preemie. Lance and Julie say they were overwhelmed with emotion, had a lot of fear when they looked at their newborn baby boy, who could just fit in the palm of one of their hands. Take a look.
Lance and I had been trying to get pregnant for about 4 years. We went through a lot of struggles.
We didn't have any luck. Did have some miscarriages and tubular pregnancies.
Lance and I started seeking treatment through an infertility specialist. We found we were pregnant and we were just on top of the world. At 23 weeks, I started having incredible pain. I went to the doctor and they said I needed to get to the emergency room immediately.
She had been in the hospital 10 days, and I got a call saying that I needed to get up there immediately.
We went straight to do an emergency C-section.
I was very fearful for Julie and Jackson, but especially Julie. I didn't know that she might have complications during the delivery where I could lose her.
On June 2nd, 2005, our son was born weighing 1 pound, 3 ounces. Jackson had a survival rate of about 10%.
He was in a glass enclosure.
He was so tiny, about 9 inches. He had like 100 cords wrapped around his little body.
He was about the size of a bird, would fit in the palm of your hand.
After 72 hours, they said, we would like for y'all to go ahead and name your baby. But they still had not told us if Jackson was gonna live or not. So Lance and I decided we would have what we called a death name, and his name was going to be James Russell. A lot of people ask, what was the thought process of giving Jackson 2 names? If Jackson passed soon, I wanted him to have a biblical name. I wanted him to be in heaven, and I wanted to remember him that way. After 98 days, Jackson was able to come home from the hospital, and he weighed 6 pounds. We were completely relieved, but we were also scared to death.
Well, Lance and Julie say a few weeks after bringing Jackson home, he started exhibiting troubling behavior. So they began asking questions and investigating. They were shocked by what they discovered.
After Jackson got home, there were some odd things we were noticing.
First sign of trouble was he started headbutting, and that was probably around 9-10 months. At about the 1 year point, he started biting his gums and his lips.
He's biting his tongue, he's bleeding. Something wasn't right. So Jackson had to see a lot of specialists, and every time we brought up a concern, they said, you know, he was such a micro-preemie, just give him time.
Then about the 18-month range, he started scratching really bad, to the point that it would bleed. So one night I walked into his room, looked into his crib, and there he is with a white t-shirt on. It's covered with blood. I'm scared to death. I pick him up, make sure he's alive. It looked like he had been stabbed. He was scratching himself.
At 2.5 years old,
Julie got a call from a high school friend who knew Tony Dungy from his days in the NFL and knew that Tony had a son with a rare pain disorder.
Tony said, Julie, quit doctor shopping. You need to go to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, and we have a neurologist there, and I'm gonna make a phone call for you.
Jackson was diagnosed with HSAN, which stands for Hereditary Sensory Autonomic Neuropathy.
Jackson does not have a peripheral nervous system. Jackson will never feel pain. You won't feel it if you slam your hand in their car door. You won't feel when you get stung by a bee. We found out that this condition is the rarest upon rare. This was going to be quite the journey a lot of people didn't know anything about.
Jackson first broke his femur at age 7, and then after that, it was just seemed like one break after the other. He would break his radius, his ulna, his tibia, his fibia. It was terrible.
We were mentally exhausted. We were physically exhausted. There was lots of fighting.
Those times were very hard because we're trying to figure this thing out, and we don't have all the answers.
I know he can be paralyzed from breaking his spine. I know he can possibly never walk again if he were to do something he didn't feel. You're raising a different child.
We didn't know what the future looked like.
Well, it's good to meet you both, and we're going to meet Jackson today. And at the point that you were rushed to the hospital, you knew it was way early. So you knew that this was a high-risk pregnancy and was going to be very likely a high-risk delivery, right?
That is exactly right.
And what was your greatest fear at that point?
I think my biggest fear was I had been in so much pain for about 3 weeks. Honestly, when they took me there, it was a weird feeling. I almost kind of thought, I know that he's gone because there's just no way. There's just been too much pain. This is not normal. This is just not normal.
You know, something was wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
What was your position in this? Because from a dad standpoint, a husband standpoint, there's kind of a helpless feeling, right?
Yeah, there's just the unknown. Are we probably going to lose him?
Right. And when you went through the process of, you said, giving him a death name.
Yes.
Take me through the process. What conversation did you guys have between yourselves in going through that process and facing that reality?
The doctors are saying if this baby is born at 25 and a half weeks or 25 weeks or 24 weeks, his chances of survival are about 10%. And y'all need to start preparing for that. They gave you the worst case scenario. I had this overwhelming, this child is going to make it.
What did you think was happening when you saw your son scratch himself and bite through his lip and his tongue?
It had initially started with headbutting, and we just thought, well, okay, that's just what babies do.
We didn't know. We were first-time parents. We have no idea. And then when you have a child born that early, you're looking for, just normalcy. They told us he might do this or that, but they never mentioned headbanging. They never mentioned biting through your lip. They never mentioned, we would take him and they're like, he's not gaining weight. And they're like, well, how much are you feeding him? I'm like, well, I start feeding him when he cries, but he never cries.
This syndrome that he has, this hereditary sensory autonomic neuropathy, particularly type 7, there are less than 24 of these documented in the world. So there is not a lot known about this. But what we do know is that these infants cannot feel pain.
Yeah, they can really hurt themselves and they don't even know they're doing it.
These symptoms appear at birth or in infancy, and they have repeated injuries. They heal slow, and there can be excessive sweating, and this is a genetic thing. There's a gene that's very rare, and there's a problem with having another child because there's a 50% chance that this could be passed on to another child, right?
That's what we were told.
The question becomes, how has raising a child with such a rare diagnosis affected the relationship between these two? We'll talk about that next, and later we'll meet this remarkable young man. We'll be right back.
My name is Jackson Bobbitt. I was born weird. I don't feel pain like other people. I don't know why. It's just how God made me.
As much as Lance and I have gone through, we have found that family, my sister, close dear friends, were there for us.
They've been able to help us watch Jackson and spend time with him.
With Jackson's condition, we were told that we needed eyes on him 24/7. So we finally found friends and family and outside help, and it was so completely necessary.
My advice to families with special needs children is don't be afraid to reach out to family, to friends. They will help.
Lance and Julie both told our producers that helping their son live with his condition has affected their everyday lives, their relationship, their feelings about themselves and each other, of course. Take a look.
Jackson's diagnosis was extremely tough on our marriage.
Julie and I weren't always on the same page in how we were going to raise him and how we were going to handle this.
We were mentally exhausted. We were physically exhausted. There was lots of fighting.
Well, we had to devote so much time to Jackson, and we weren't able to devote as much time just one-on-one with each other.
I have to have my iPad. I don't care. I was at home with Jackson all the time. I was a constant caregiver. But Lance, Lance got to go to work all day. One time when Jackson had really been banging his head, he's been biting his lip, I've been dealing with that all day. I really was at a really low point. And I remember Lance coming home and he kind of said, "What's for dinner?" And I think I left that night and just walked out the door.
Well, it's frustrating, when she's not herself because of, the day that she had to go through. She's going to take it out on somebody, and that somebody was me.
We were under so much stress. I felt like we both just hated each other.
How does it feel to hear yourself say that we just hated each other?
It's really hard to hear because we've come so far, and I never wanted to hate him. And I think hate's a strong word. It really wasn't hate. It was just exhaustion.
When you're raising a very high maintenance child that has a chronic illness, research tells us that in a couple like this, depression is, for both of the individuals inside the couple, is 35% more frequent than in couples in general. Anxiety is 57% more frequent than in couples without those kinds of challenges. And you say you've come so far. How did you get that far?
Someone advised us, y'all need to get help. And we met that person, and she came into our life for 10 years. We could actually go out to dinner. We started dating once a week. I could be myself again.
Robin talks about this a lot, and you always say you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And why is that so important?
Well, I think it's so important to put yourself first and take care of yourself so you can take care of those you love. Because if you're worn out, exhausted, mentally, physically exhausted, you don't have anything left to give to those that you love, and then everyone suffers. So I really think it's important to take care of yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally,
and not feel guilty
spiritually.
about it, right?
And not feel guilty about it, because taking care of yourself allows you to take care of those you love.
Well, raising Jackson has also bonded Lance and Julie closer together. They say that his infectious positivity, compassion towards others, and fantastic sense of humor has been a bright light in their lives. So let's hear from Jackson.
My name is Jackson Bobbitt. I want to meet Dr. Phil because I think it's pretty cool how he worked with lots and lots of different type of people, especially YouTubers. I was born weird. I don't feel pain like other people. I don't know why. It's just how God made me. On a normal day, I wake up, I eat my breakfast, I get on a bus, play on my iPad, and I do learning, school, go home. Sleeping in my own bed bothers me. Maybe I'm gonna get a girlfriend. Yes, sir. Keep that in for Dr. Phil. I love YouTube so much because when I was little, I was a crap ton of surgeries. and like I watch YouTube, and it made me happy. A long time ago, I wanted to be a YouTuber, so I made my first ever YouTube video. Hey guys, what's up? Today is my birthday, so yeah, I did some fun stuff. My favorite YouTuber is Mr. Beast because like he does so many creative ideas, like Squid Game in real life.
Are you guys ready? Yeah! Are you ready? Yeah!
Just like YouTube, I love movies because I love like Hollywood. I love Tom Holland. If you're watching Tom Holland, I love to meet you, and the 2 other Spider-Mans, I love to meet you too. My mom had to worry about her mom, and she got old. And she passed away. So now I have a fear of getting old myself, seeing my family get old. My dad taught me like enjoy every second of your life because someday I might lose it. And so I just enjoy every second with my parents.
Well, we're going to meet Jackson right after the break. Plus, we're going to hear from someone who has watched Jackson grow up since birth and says she truly understands the sacrifices that Lance and Julie have made for their son. We'll be right back. Let me get a list of stuff you're assigning me here.
Yeah, I'm trying to list off all my things.
You want to be in a video. You want to win $1 million.
A Tesla.
Meet Jackson.
Hello.
So how you doing, man?
Good.
So how old are you?
16.
16. So how's the trip been for you? How you liking California?
Amazing.
Yeah?
I don't want to leave.
Yeah. You have a great and sharp mind on you, so you're clearly aware that you have challenges that others don't have. How do you say...
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
So upbeat and so positive about everything.
I just like being happy.
Yeah?
I don't know, I just wake up happy.
Yeah. What's the big deal, right?
Yeah.
So what do you love about YouTube? Because you're really into YouTube.
I love YouTube because like all the different stuff they're doing.
You want to be a YouTuber, right?
Yes. I want to be a YouTuber so I can entertain people.
Yeah. And you have a favorite person on YouTube, right?
Mr. Beast.
I'd heard that he was a fan of my friend and popular YouTube personality, Mr. Beast. So I reached out to him and arranged for a surprise visit. Take a look.
So, Dr. Phil had planned this surprise for my son, Jackson. He is about to meet...
Green light. Red light.
Mr. Beast. And he's gonna freak out.
Hey, what's up?
Mr. Beast! Whoa! I've been watching your videos for such a long time.
Yeah? Which ones are your favorite?
The Squid Game.
Green light. Red light. We have under 1 minute remaining. Time's ticking. Green light. Red light. Oh, it works! Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, without going super in depth, it was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. What do you want to do for a living?
YouTuber.
Really? Okay. What's your channel?
Jackson Bobbitt.
I'll subscribe to it. But also, in the future, I want you to be a YouTuber. What are some things you want to learn about making videos?
How to edit.
The big thing with editing, for the most part, you kind of just have to do it, and with time, you just kind of learn. If you edited 100 videos, you're going to be way better than you were when you edited the first one. YouTube aside, how's everything been going for you?
School was pretty good. I've done lots of surgeries, and I've been doing that all my life.
And how does that make you feel?
Good, because my body heals, but I guess sad. So that's why I watch YouTube.
I hope my videos can help you forget about some of that stuff. I enjoyed meeting you.
I wish you the best, and I hope I get to see you in the future.
Likewise.
Tell all the YouTubers hi, and tell all your crewmates hi.
You know, he has these big games that he does.
He recreated Squid Game, and he like gives Teslas and Lamborghinis away. Yeah. And Dr. Phil, can I be in one of his videos?
Yeah, I think we could probably arrange that. he had.
I want to win like $1 million in a Tesla.
Well, he had the big games that he does once a year for $1 million prize, and I was the talent judge in the one this year.
Yeah, Mr. Beast showed me. He took a picture with you.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah,
I'm
that was
famous
awesome.
now. I took a picture with Mr. Beast. I finally made it.
Yes. And another thing, my teacher loves you. Well, not you. Well, he loves his.
So close.
Well, he loves you, but he loves this YouTuber called Mark Rober, and I really want my teacher to be in a Zoom call with Mark Rober and Mr. Beast.
Yeah, well, let me get a list of the stuff you're assigning me here.
Yeah, I'm trying to list off all my things I'm saying in videos.
So you want to be in a video, you want to win $1 million.
You want a Tesla.
I need a
PS5.
Zoom with Mark
Rober and Mr.
Now,
Beast for science.
Is Mark
class.
the NASA engineer?
Yeah, he's at NASA engineer, and they're friends with Mr. Beast. And I really
well, that's who
want,
I picked as the winner in the games that I judged. Was Mark Rober. He was the winner.
Wow.
Who knew?
He was the NASA. He was
I
the
bet Miss
NASA
Priest would have
engineer.
done that too.
Pardon me?
I bet Miss Priest would have picked them too.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you said I want to go to space with him.
Oh, no. I would say that too. Space is pretty cool and horrifying.
Okay, I'm running out of ink, buddy. Slow down.
And
here.
I really want to make a horror movie, and you can make it to Paramount. We can plan it.
Yeah. Well, you're in the.
We can get rich.
Well, Jackson, you're in the right town because this is Hollywood and everybody's pitching everybody everything. So you are a pitch man, that's for sure.
Yes.
All right, when we come back, we're going to meet someone that has known this young man since the minute he was born. We'll be right back. Well, I'm here working for Jackson. He's brought his parents. Lance and his wife, Julie, I think they're his agents. He has a neurological condition, which obviously has not slowed him down one bit. He happens to be one of the most positive kids I think I've ever met. Jackson and his family all agree that having supportive friends and family, such as their good friend Stacy, has truly helped them get through some of the tougher times in their lives. Take a look.
Julie and I have been great friends for over 20 years. I was in the next room when Julie got the call from the doctors that she was pregnant. The first time that I was able to go into the NICU and actually see Jackson myself, it brings tears to your eyes to see something so small. I mean, you just can't fathom what a 1-pound baby really looks like. So Julie and Lance were going to the NICU every day to see him. I wanted to do whatever I could to keep them just uplifted and strong, just wanted to be there for them. When Julie and Lance finally got Jackson's diagnosis, it was definitely a relief, but at the same time, it was like getting hit by a tidal wave. It's so rare. Not being able to feel pain brings on a whole new gamut of problems.
Jackson, sit down. We'll get you something to drink.
He has broken his legs numerous times, and he doesn't know that he does that. And as a parent, I just can't imagine wondering, did your child just hurt himself? I reached out to Dr. Phil, hoping that he could bring light to this disorder. Today, Jackson is thriving.
So what'd you do after school?
Play on the iPad.
I've always told Julie that Jackson was put on this earth for a greater purpose, and it may just be to inspire other families, to let them know that good things can come out of what seems like some of the darkest times.
Well, Stacy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Full disclosure, Stacy is a friend of ours. Robert and I have a home in Dallas, and we've known Stacy for a few years, and you reached out to me about this delightful family, and one of the things you said to me was, you've got to meet this kid.
I did.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah. He can light up a room for sure.
She's been important to y'all, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what do you think has been most important that has brought Jackson to the point that he is of being so positive and being so energized?
I think everybody that Jackson has around him, all of their family, all of their other friends have all been so supportive. And I think he just has a little tribe around him that helps him flourish. I think Robin hit the nail on the head. I mean, you have to take care of yourself to be able to have the energy to take care of the rest of the family and to be there and be supportive for your family.
Particularly in high demand situations, you really need a mother, not a martyr. And sometimes it can be so easy for parents to become martyrs instead of mothers and fathers. And the kids don't need martyrs. They don't need somebody that gives their life up, because that cheats the child. They need fully functioning, happy moms and dads, and that means you've got to continue your life. And isn't it interesting that the real messages of hope and all start to come from Jackson himself?
Yes. You know, we were so worried about him when he started breaking and he was in the hospital constantly. We started noticing he was getting depressed. The doctors really pulled us aside and said, this little boy's getting down. So we gotta lift him up. We've got to figure some things out here.
Well, there's a doctor who has been rebuilding Jackson's entire body to make sure he can walk in the future. He hopes that he's going to be able to drive.
Tesla. Yeah.
We say Tesla because it's a self-driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to hear from the doctor next.
Your first reaction when you hear that you can't feel pain.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
Is, wow, wouldn't that be great? Well, it's actually devastating. You won't feel when your bone breaks.
So I told Jackson that he's got to be careful. He can't do anything to put himself in jeopardy of, continuing to break bones, that he's going to have to be physically very careful.
As time went on, we found that there was a procedure that we could do that was going to correct Jackson's legs. Through some research, we found Dr. Feldman.
Our goal is to rehabilitate Jackson's legs where he'll be able to walk somewhat normal one day.
We really don't want him to ever be wheelchair bound. After our 5th surgery of correction, Jackson is now up and walking. He is back at school. He's starting to enjoy life again.
Dr. Feldman is helping rebuild him and fix what's broken.
Well, we've been talking with 16-year-old Jackson, who lives with a rare neurological disorder called hereditary sensory and autonomic neuropathy type 7. There are 8 types, and they have various symptoms. In simple terms, Jackson cannot feel pain and has injured himself at times very severely and doesn't get any feedback that he's injured.
I feel pressure.
He feels pressure but not pain. Now, Jackson is here supported by his parents, Lance and Julie, and a very close family friend, Stacy, who all say Jackson is improving due to the great medical care they have received from Jackson's doctors, including orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Feldman. They say Dr. Feldman has worked to rebuild Jackson to ensure he can walk in the future after breaking so many bones. Now, joining us virtually from his office at the Paley Institute in West Palm Beach, Florida, is Jackson's orthopedic surgeon, Dr. David Feldman. So, Dr. Feldman, how are you, sir?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Good to meet you. Thanks so much for taking the time out of what I know is a very busy schedule. What do you think of this young man?
He's amazing, right? I mean, you can see the hope, right? I mean, we all complain about little things, and Jackson complains about nothing.
Exactly. It makes me feel guilty about complaining about my knees when they bark a little bit. It kind of resets the compass, doesn't it? Dr. Feldman, just so people know, you have a very sophisticated practice working on these very challenging disorders, and I say that so people around the country and around the world that watch this program know places are there to turn, because there is help for those that have really unusual challenges and disorders, and there are advances and breakthroughs being made all the time, and you're one of the people that works in that arena, correct?
Absolutely. This is Rare Disease Month, so it's really great timing for you to put this on the air, and I really appreciate you actually highlighting Jackson and his family and the psychological effects of having children with rare disorders or any type of disabilities. And I do think there's great hope for these children. I specialize in rare conditions or very unusual conditions, whether it's things like congenital insensitivity to pain or arthrogryposis. These are conditions that most people never see and most surgeons never see. So we treat people from around the world and certainly around the United States with these conditions.
But you're a first draft medical historian here, because this is so rare that when you do a procedure, it creates a record for others to follow. And God bless you for what you're doing. Are there advances being made here that are you looking at things that are coming up in the future where you're going to be able to help him? And will you eventually be able to work on his spine, his hips, legs? What's in the future for Jackson?
I think he has a really bright future. I think we were used to be very reactive, and I think we've become proactive. And being proactive, we're able to maintain his strength of his bones to allow him to walk and not constantly refracture. As well, we've operated a number of spines on patients with HSA, and as you said, there are 8 types, and these 8 types are very similar in many ways. There used to be 2 types when I was in medical school, congenital insensitivity to pain and familial dysautonomia, and now we have 8 different types, but they have very many similarities between them all. And I think that when we treat them and we treat them proactively and don't let him become paralyzed and don't let him keep breaking, he can make those movies, those horror movies, and drive a Tesla.
I said it.
Will he be able to drive a car? Will he be able to do some of these things in the future?
I think physically he'll be able to drive a car. The question is, can Jackson pay attention long enough to be able to drive a car? He may become famous and get a driver, I think. It's really important that he...
on my phone or iPad.
Exactly. He could be doing some other deals in the car while he's driving.
I have a direct contact line to Elon Musk, so maybe I'll...
What?
Maybe I'll see if I can.
You know him?
Maybe I'll get something that can put some bumpers on the car and limit it to 20 miles an hour or something until he gets a driver. So
I love a Tesla from Elon.
I know you're very busy. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, Dr. Feldman.
Thank you for what you're doing with Jackson and all of the other. I know you operate like 400 or 500 times a year on these special cases. And again, thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I'd like to thank YouTube personality, my friend Mr. Beast, as well as Dr. Feldman. Coming up, now that Valentine's Day is over, I'm going to tell you how you can show yourself the love you deserve right after this. Celebrated Valentine's Day by pampering and honoring others, buying flowers, boxes of candy, and showering special people with tokens of love and affection. But how do you show love to yourself? Well, the past 2 years have been particularly challenging for all of us, so loving yourself, well, really should be at the top of your priority list. Self-care is very important to one's overall health. We're constantly inundated with emails, phone calls, texts, personal problems, work issues, or dealing with world matters such as the pandemic. Now, there are several things you can do to honor yourself and rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. Let me give you a few quick tips. Having a really good internal dialogue with yourself is crucial, especially during these challenging times. Now, to do that, you've got to pay attention to what it is you're saying to yourself. You've got to have an ear for that negative talk, because it can fill up your life with stress, panic, and fear. And you can't know that if you don't hear what you're saying to yourself. So you got to hear those negative things, hit the eject button, and focus on the good and keep thinking about a positive outcome. I'm not saying to be a Pollyanna, but I'm saying make sure that what you're telling yourself is helpful to you. In the morning, take 10 minutes to just be quiet and focus on your mind. Think about everything that you're grateful for. Make a list of the blessings in your life. Positive affirmations are another great way to set the tone for your day. Get outside. Even short periods of time in nature with fresh air, taking a walk around the block or even down to the corner, can really reduce symptoms of stress and anxiety. Just taking a break from your busy day to do that can really de-stress you, and doing that for even 10 minutes lasts for hours. Think about what you love to do and just do it. Take a salsa class, learn a second language, join a book club, anything that fills you up. Doing something you're passionate about should inspire good feelings and emotions. Make your living space comfortable and organized. Declutter, buy fresh flowers, purchase a beautiful candle. Create a space you love to come home to. Now, another way to distress is by taking even short breaks of your day to do something fun. And I'm talking about one great way would be to download the app game Solitaire Grand Harvest to your cell phone. It's the perfect way to take a break from your busy schedule, and you can download it for free. The game is set on a beautiful farm, which is visually calming while soothing music is playing in the background. That alone can help you unwind. You're also getting double the fun by playing solitaire and harvesting a beautiful farm. It's like getting two games in one. And the game is challenging because you often need to go through multiple attempts before successfully completing a level. But there are surprises and power-ups to help you reach your goal. As you progress in the game, you win rewards, credits, and surprises. So take time out of your busy day to relax and give yourself a gift of fun. Just go to the App Store or Google Play and download Solitaire Grand Harvest today. And when you do, you'll get...
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
A special welcome bonus. Now, I want to thank all of my guests today. And if you'd like to join us here in the studio audience, just go to my website, drphil.com, for all the details. Be sure to follow me on all the social media platforms. And don't forget to join our new Facebook group, Dr. Phil Fanatics. That's P-H-A-N. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to my podcast, Fill in the Blanks. My next guests are Derek Maltz, former director of the DEA Special Operations, and Tim Mackey, CEO of S3 Research. We address the nation's crisis that is killing our children, counterfeit drugs laced with deadly doses of fentanyl that are being sold online. I'm telling you, our kids are under attack. And check out Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret with Robin McGraw. Check it out for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll see you next time. So long. Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. There is a real debate that's raging between pro-life
Abortion is violence against a child. It's not health care.
and pro-choice.
You're trying to govern all of our bodies because of what you believe.
Your problem is that they're wanting to impose their values on other women.
Absolutely. Everyone has a right to choose for themselves.
When
People
does
have a
the
right
baby
to-
have a choice to live?
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. Recently, we taped an episode about the heartbreaking story of Nancy Davis and her partner, Shedrick Cole, who were thrust into the middle of the hotly debated abortion issue when they received a devastating diagnosis for her fetus. The civil rights attorney, Ben Crump, said doctors in Louisiana were so afraid of prosecution that in order to receive a medically recommended abortion, the couple had to travel out of state. Their story fueled the debate in studio between pro-life and pro-choice advocates. Here's a look at highlights of that episode before we continue this important conversation.
More than 2 months after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the fight over abortion rights continues.
Nancy Davis has 3 children and planned for 1 more.
We were elated that we were expecting another child.
But happiness turned to heartbreak. Earlier this month, the fetus was diagnosed with acrania, a rare condition in which the skull doesn't develop. Most are either stillborn or die soon afterwards. Doctors advised Davis to terminate her pregnancy, but Women's Hospital in Baton Rouge later denied her from getting the procedure. Attorney Ben Crump pointed to Davis's case as an example of Louisiana's vague and confusing laws.
Ms. Davis was among the first women to be caught in the crosshairs of confusion.
The only thing that could replay in my head was I was carrying my baby to bury my baby.
What was that 6 weeks like for you to carry on with this pregnancy for 6 additional weeks?
It was extremely traumatizing. This has been the most difficult decision that we've ever had to make.
I cannot imagine the mental anguish of a woman who has to deliver a baby that she sees come out of her, and then they pronounce it dead.
But Ben, the physicians, they did not want to do this, right?
They feared, when you read the law on its face, that if you knowingly perform an abortion, you could be sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison.
You know, doctors should not have to be feeling like they're going to lose their license if they're going to administer a human right, which is part of abortion care and reproductive care.
So we're talking about a baby. We're talking about a human life. And the pro-life position is that all humans have human rights.
Lila, I really feel like your views, you just want to legislate evil. There's nothing you could justify to say that she should have to carry it to bury it.
Life begins at fertilization. It is a scientific fact.
Well, actually, it's not.
It's not a human life. Why do you have to kill it?
I haven't spoken over you, and you keep speaking over me. And the scientific community does not have a consensus about when life begins.
We can agree to disagree, but I will say, when I was
But
pregnant...
the literature doesn't disagree.
We must understand something that is critically important to all Americans. This is the first time in history that a right has been taken away from individual citizens. And this is very frightening, because what is next?
We're going to pick right back up on this conversation. Susan for the Right to Life League has something to say.
When does the other person get to choose to live? There are 2 people involved in every abortion. There is the mother, and then there is the child. And that's the problem with your position, because it denies the humanity of that little person. Where do babies come from? We are debating about when life starts. We know that egg and sperm meet. There's an actual little spark of life, that happens. They can't explain it, but that's when they meet. And the unique DNA that makes you who you are is formed at that moment. And that one single cell then grows into a clump of cells and continues to evolve and develop. And we become less dependent. If we can kill something that is dependent upon us, why can't we kill college students? Why can't we kill the elderly? Why can't we kill a 2-year-old baby? Because dependency does not define life.
Okay, so first I would like to say that according to scientific and medical research, it is considered a fetus, and that's the first thing. And part of that is because that fetus is completely dependent on that mother's body in order to thrive. And so as we're talking about this, he's saying this when they have the right to choose, or when do they have a right to live, or things like that. I don't think that's the argument that we're trying to make. What we're trying to say is that ultimately we cannot determine, as everyone's sharing their experiences here today, we cannot determine what the outcome of a pregnancy will be until it comes to that time and phase. And so therefore, it is not for you or myself or anyone in this room to tell a person what they want to do with their pregnancy as it's coming about, because we do not know their full situation. We have to think about oppression, and I have to point this out because I think part of the problem with the pro-life argument to me is it's not about equity. And I heard you earlier talk about slavery, but how is this not any different from a form of slavery to make a person make sure that they are carrying a child or a fetus or a baby, whatever we want to call it, when they do not want it, or they can't, or something is preventing them from being able to have it and be healthy, and for that fetus to turn out to have a sustainable and healthy life. We have to really look at this. So it's not for me to make the decision, for anybody or any of us to make the decision.
You have an overwhelming number of black and brown people who are wrongfully convicted and put on death row. I would have more respect if you were advocating for them, the lives that are already here who are innocently being killed.
I really ask everybody that, seek first to understand the other side, and second, to be understood. I really want us to have some give and take here, even if we disagree about things, because there is disagreement about this. Did you want to add something, Ben?
Yeah.
And then I'm coming to you next, so you better get ready.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. And this is to the young lady, I think her name is Susan, who says she's a civil rights attorney, as I am. Now, I am not an abortion rights lawyer expert by any means of the word. I'm here with my good friend, Dr. Phil, advocating for Nancy Davis and Shedrick Cole. But you said that in response to me saying I would have more respect if people who said they were pro-life were not just pro-life when it was for the fetus, but when it was for the life that actually comes into the world. And I would really have more respect in the field that I know in civil rights. I'm on the Innocence Project board. You have an overwhelming number of black and brown people who are wrongfully convicted and put on death row. I would have more respect if you were advocating for them, the lives that are already here who are innocently being killed. You said the government don't kill people. You asked a lot of black men in America.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
If the government kills people.
Okay, I want to come to you, but one thing I do want to say, because you're saying they're fighting for, pro-life is fighting for the unborn, the preborn, but where are they once they are born? Let me tell you, Live Action are very proactive about helping these children once they are born in terms of education and supporting them in the home and matching them to resources, and have been for a long time. So it's not like I want to push this baby into the world and then disappear. That's the last thing that y'all do. So I wanted to make that point.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. I think it's a tremendous mischaracterization of the media, many who are pro-abortion, about the pro-life community and about, Live Action. But the reality is we're out there offering solutions, offering options, financial care for women, job placement, adoption plan options, fostering kids, working with families. That's the pro-life solution, is seeing the value of the mother and the child, bringing the family together, supporting families.
Well,
There's thousands of pregnancy centers
I can't speak to the whole pro-life.
I know them. I know hundreds of them.
I know that Live Action is very proactive in doing
I
that.
can tell you what the Right to Life League does in California. We're the first pro-life organization. We were founded in 1967, long before Roe versus Wade. And what we do is we help pro-life centers, clinics, and maternity homes all up and down the state of California so that they keep their doors open. Everything that they offer to women to help them choose life and to support them afterwards with housing, with caring, everything and anything they need. That's what the Right to Life League does. And it is actually hurtful and insulting to say we're pro-birth and not pro-life. That is not true, because we're about the whole child
I'm trying to
and
moderate,
the mother.
I'm trying to moderate this, and I just want to stick to the facts and all. That's why I want to make clear. You guys are very proactive about this, and so I didn't want that to get mischaracterized. And I don't think the media is pro-abortion. I don't think anybody's pro-abortion. Nobody wants that to happen. I'm coming to you. Say your name and speak up. You are very patient.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Jess Meath, and this might shock you, but I am a pro-life Democrat. I work for Democrats for Life of America, and I am so glad that that my fellow brothers and sisters who are pro-choice, yes, you are my brothers and sisters. We are not enemies. I see eye to eye with you about these issues of social safety nets for the mother who's carrying her baby in the womb. That is 1,000% important in this conversation. And I'm relieved that we have the platform of Dr. Phil Show to talk about this, because I have not seen the mainstream media, and I hope we can see eye to eye on this, not address who's really being affected here. And that's women in underserved and minority communities. 75% of women seek abortion due to economic hardship, according to Guttmacher Institute. That is harrowing, and that should awaken all of us. Before I worked at Democrats for Life, I actually worked at a nonprofit that financially assists abortion-minded women. These women felt like they didn't have an option. They felt like due to their circumstances, they could not keep their baby. They would ask me, and they would tell me, I don't feel like I have a choice. So we would help them pay their rent, their groceries, their utilities, their transportation during and after pregnancy. We have to be pro-life for the whole life. And that's our motto at Democrats for Life. We advocate for many of these social safety nets that both sides are advocating for, especially those who are pro-choice. And I admire people who are pro-choice who talk about this, that we need affordable and accessible health care. We need daycare and childcare that is affordable. We need better housing. We need all of these things. We need to protect life outside of the womb.
Really well said. All right, coming up, who is going to suffer the most now that Roe has been overturned? And when we come back, I want to talk to the audience and hear what you guys have to say. So you're up next. Get ready. We'll be right back.
You say, let's agree to disagree, but I don't think you really believe that. I do what I want with my body, and you do what you want with yours, you know?
I think the question is, do all humans have human rights?
Well, there is a real debate that's raging in America right now between pro-life and pro-choice. And one thing about pro-choice that I think needs to be said is that pro-choice people want every woman to have the right to have a child if they want to. So that's for sure. They're not trying to tell anybody what they can or can't do. They're saying if you want to have a baby, they want that woman to have the right to have that baby. Now, I'm interested in hearing from the audience. You've been hearing a lot of things being said up here, and most of the audience are female. Not all, but raise your hand and we'll bring you a microphone. Okay, back here. Say your name.
I'm Corinne. I kind of am at a loss because I don't really know how we're supposed to find common ground with people that refuse to look at facts and science. You say science says that life starts at fertilization. Science literally doesn't say that.
When do you think it begins?
I think,
okay. It doesn't begin at fertilization. At
I
birth?
think that's a very nuanced conversation. I don't think it starts at fertilization, and I think it starts before birth. I think it all comes into play when the nerve system gets developed, when the brain gets developed, when the heart gets developed, you know? And you say, let's agree to disagree, but I don't think you really believe that, because you're trying to govern all of our bodies because of what you believe. Why is it that we have to do what you believe? If you agree to disagree, I agree that it doesn't start at fertilization. You agree that it does. I do what I want with my body, and you do what you want with yours, you know?
I think the question is, Do all humans have human rights? Would you say all humans have human rights,
No,
regardless
as
of how old they
now,
are?
not all humans have human rights.
But do you think they should?
Because we just
Do you
have
think
it
they
taken
should?
away from
But
us.
do you think they have a right
that
to
question
live?
in itself is just
Do you
silly.
think they have a right
One
to
thing
live?
that we have to acknowledge
that's-
here, you say you're pro-life, but banning abortion hurts so many more people in the long run. So many more people. If you were really pro-life, you would be caring about these long-term ripple effects. Why is it that you're telling me that I can only get an abortion if I get raped? You're telling me that I only get to have a choice over my body if I get violated. How is that fair?
I want to encourage every single person in this room to find out what an abortion actually does, because we're talking about the victim of about the victim of an abortion as if they're a non-entity.
You're more concerned with the abortion part, but not
we
the
problems.
Okay, hold on. Okay, everybody's talking over everybody else. Yes, sir, in the back, right here.
I've actually learned something today, which is good. The pro-life people who were talking about what they do after birth, I didn't know, and I think that's admirable. The problem I'm having as a father, as a husband, as a citizen, is that we're talking about politicians telling you what to do. What is troubling me is the idea of government-mandated pregnancy.
Can I respond to that?
That's what in the end that's what's happening.
No one is forcing anyone to get pregnant. Motherhood is slavery.
I would like to interject because I know we have a balance. Actually, my response is coming too, and I'm actually in agreement completely with what he's saying, because one of the human rights states that the state or federal government cannot interfere in a person's autonomy about themselves. So that's part of one of our human rights, right, for women. So when we're talking about this is the issue, because this is coming into an issue about political weaponizing and power and how to control women and pregnant persons' bodies. Should the government be able to determine control over a woman's body? And why is it gender specific? Because it's not the same for men.
I don't think the government should control a woman's body. Of course not. But when you're pregnant, there's another human life involved. You're pregnant with what?
You can't have
human
it
being.
both ways.
And listen, what's the point of rule of law? What's the point of law in a society? It's to protect the weak, right? The strong can care for themselves, but the weak are vulnerable. They need the support of the law. And the law should protect the first human right, of course, which is life. The right to live, to not be killed in a violent abortion. Abortion is violence against a child. It's not health care. It traumatizes women. It's killed over 60 million children since Roe was decided. In the year after a woman has an abortion, she's 150% more likely to attempt suicide, according to numbers from the state of California.
That's not true. That's not true. You're fat.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
I don't know
the
where
data proves that
fact check.
The data proves that abortion is devastating. It kills a child and it's devastating for women.
There is absolutely no evidence for any post-abortion syndrome.
I think there is, Dr. We're about to publish a white paper that takes metadata from dozens and dozens of studies across the world, including in the United States.
Well, the actual data
trauma
suggests
after abortion.
the actual data suggests that the stress is before the abortion, not after. And I'm not saying that to advocate for or against. I'm just telling you that's what the data says.
The reality is there are women who just don't want to give birth and shouldn't have to.
You're not forcing pregnancy. We're forcing adults to be responsible.
I know that's what you say you think, but it doesn't really matter what you think.
I'll send you a
matters
report
what
with
is.
all the data and the studies that are not reported by media that show devastation to women's mental health, including Medicaid patients in California. 150,000 California women on Medicaid were surveyed. The year after they had an abortion, they were 150% more likely to attempt suicide than women who carried to term.
Okay,
That's the kind of data that was not being shared publicly because there's an abortion narrative that abortion is good for women. It's not.
Okay.
It kills a child and it harms women.
You say it's not reported in the media. I don't do my research in the media.
That's good.
I do it in the academic literature, and I have done a meta-analysis on this, and there's not a post-abortion syndrome, and the stress that you're talking about that increases suicidal ideation or attempts, you're talking about an increase in that activity, but you cannot isolate that to the fact that that person had an abortion, because those people are also in financial difficulty, they're in relationship difficulties, they're oftentimes homeless, they're oftentimes in relationship distress, there are a whole lot of other variables, and so you can't cherry pick. So you can't cherry pick out abortion and say this variable, that there's a cause and effect relationship with that. And so you can.
It's not cherry picking, Dr. Phil. It's looking at women who have carried to term, taking out other considerations, women who have carried to term versus women who have aborted. Listen, I've been privileged with the stories of hundreds of women. Our organization reports on the stories of thousands of women who share their regret, their pain, their trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma after abortions. Why aren't they represented? Why weren't they interviewed and talked to here? Their stories deserve to be told, and that's why we're announcing a campaign called Can't Stay Silent, which is the stories, the untold stories of women and the pain they feel after their abortions, when they were promised their abortion was good for them, when instead abortion hurt them.
In the back row, in the middle.
I just want to add to the discussion that I think it's inappropriate for our nation to be moralizing about this at all and trying to determine what's a legitimate reason for termination and what's not. Because regardless of the support systems that are in place, even due to the actions of lovely ladies like yourself, the reality is there are women who just don't want to give birth. And we shouldn't have to give up our right to an intimate sexual relationship with our partner just out of the fear of having to give up the reins of our own health care and personal decisions over our body. And reality is that even under the best circumstances in a healthy pregnancy, it takes an enormous toll mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, and there's just people out there that don't want to do it and shouldn't have to. And for someone to come here and say that their position is not forced birth is simply a lie. That's just the reality of your position.
Senator Jackson, did you have a comment?
I did, and I'm sorry if I regressed. The gentleman asked the question about legislators making decisions, and the truth is we do it every day. We're elected by the people. I made a decision wholeheartedly as a whole-life Democrat to support Medicaid expansion. Brought a bill every year that my governor wouldn't sign it, and to the point where we got a pro-life Democrat in office who would. He considered that a part of his pro-life stance to make sure that people had access to affordable health care. Also, the young lady who just spoke when you said we're forcing pregnancy, and I've heard that on this stage. The truth is this: you're not forcing pregnancy. We're forcing adults to be responsible, which means responsibility for your actions.
But if that's the thing, if that's what we're going to say, is that you have to face the consequence, then someone who develops lung cancer from smoking, knowing there's a risk, should not be treated. Though that is medical treatment, just abortion is health care.
There are health risks involved in carrying a baby to term that has a cranium. Could have possibly had to bury Nancy as well.
Cedric and Nancy would like to speak. Cedric, Nancy, go ahead.
I just want to make 2 points, Dr. Phil, if I may. A lot of these laws that are being put in place and being implemented or being put in place by men, and having 2 daughters and having Nancy and going through what we've been going through, I completely sympathize and empathize with a woman's rights to be able to decide what she wants to do for herself. Also, I want to say that there are health risks involved in carrying a baby to term that has a cranium. So I could have very well found myself in a situation where, well, we know the baby's going to die. That's inevitable. But I could have also found myself in a situation where I could have possibly had to bury Nancy as well. And so I just want people to understand that.
And I don't think the debate is regarding Nancy, because the exception is there for Nancy. And that's what we've talked about. When I hear people saying to the point of 9 months, a healthy baby can be aborted. And then let me tell you what's most offensive to me, Dr. Phil, is when I hear people say that for Black and brown women, the remedy to them living in poverty is abortion. then to me, we perpetuate the racism that we faced for years. And we perpetuate it in that we say, don't solve the problem. Don't offer women equal pay. Don't offer women access to health care. Don't offer women fair and equitable jobs that they deserve. Instead, offer them abortions and let them stay in poverty. Because I keep hearing it. I keep hearing as a Black or brown woman, when I'm sitting in poverty, the answer to my poverty is not to expand my family.
That is exactly what Margaret Sanger used to say
that's
long ago.
got to be offensive to your sensibilities to hear. Nancy, you wanted to make a comment?
I wasn't seeking an abortion. I was seeking a medical procedure because of the baby's condition. I just wanted to throw that out there.
And Nancy, I've said that because it seemed like you became unwantingly. You didn't want to become an advocate for abortion. I don't think that's who you are. Where I'm most offended is that I'm tired of people saying to Black and brown women, the answer to your poverty is abortion. Margaret Sanger, and someone mentioned that in the audience, Dr. Phil, she said in her letter, and I sent it to you, it says, we do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that ideal if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members.
And she's the founder of Planned Parenthood.
Yes,
and they're
she
behind
founded it.
Planned Parenthood and other pro-abortion groups.
Let me finish, please, because I have to say this, because this is why, one of the reasons why I'm whole life. And I understand that people think that legislators who legislate in area abortion are, don't legislate. I carried the death penalty bill to eliminate the death penalty because I thought that was important. I also carried the Medicaid expansion bill. This is not about me, but I'm talking about women all over the Capitol who are pro-life, who are standing together because we're whole life. I understand, and I will admit, there are advocates who are pro-life who become pro-birth because after voting for those bills, they never vote for anything else. A lot of us are not those advocates, but we do understand the history of abortion. We understand the history of abortion in that Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, brought abortion to the Black communities because we were growing at alarming rates. Hispanic communities were growing at alarming rates. They brought abortion to our community to ensure we didn't procreate at the rates we were. And as a result of that, we talk about voting rights. We've lost millions and millions of African-American babies. If those African-American babies would have been born and had at least one child apiece, the Hispanic and African-American community would be at 30-some or 40% of America's population now. I think we've lost a lot of rights. We've lost them in the West.
We have to take a break, and we'll come back, and I'll start with you, Ben.
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
Okay. We're talking about whether or not you're pro-life, pro-choice. We'll be right back. Well, we're back talking about a very divisive issue. What I've said is that I hoped that we could seek to understand the other side's point of view and then seek to be understood and not close our mind. You know, there's something called confirmation bias. You've probably heard that talked about an awful lot. And confirmation bias is only seeking out information that supports one's beliefs while ignoring any evidence that contradicts your belief. You know, there's a chapter 2 to that, which says that once we suffer from confirmation bias and someone brings us evidence to the contrary, it tends to deepen our bias. It doesn't overcome our bias. It causes us to dig our heels in even more because we want to be right. And if you become a right fighter, you don't have any diversity of thought whatsoever. And I really hope people will ask themselves, you know, do I have the ability, if I had to stand up and argue the other person's side, could I do it? Could I stand up and make their case? And if you can't, then you haven't really listened. And I commend both sides, really, for letting everybody speak pretty much. You've kind of gotten in each other's face a little bit, but that's okay. You're passionate about it, but I think people have had a chance to talk about both sides. And I really don't think the government needs to be telling people what they should do with their bodies, whether it's a man or a woman. And there's no analogous place for men in this situation, so I don't think
the babies killed are boys.
I thought I was going.
So men should be involved.
Go ahead, Ben.
Men should be involved.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up where Senator Jackson left off Dr. Phil, because I think she's absolutely right. You can't just be pro-fetus. You got to be pro-life for the whole life, because then that's a respectful argument. When the child is born into the world, you make sure they have access to prenatal care. You make sure they have access to health care. You make sure they have access to quality education. You make sure they have an equal opportunity at the promise of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And God forbid, all those pro-lifers should come what we see in the Innocence Project over and over again, this disproportionate number of black and brown people wrongfully put on death row. You never hear any of them saying, well, pro-life for all these black men and brown men that are being killed by the government, and then we find out 5 years later that they were completely innocent. I want you to come and join us and say pro-life for these black people.
We got to support human life from the moment of fertilization until natural death.
Everyone has a right to choose for themselves.
Choose what? What does an abortion
Their
do?
choice, their bodily autonomy.
What about the child?
Their
What
bodily
about
autonomy.
when
People
does
have a
the
right
baby
to-
have a choice to live?
We are
When
seeing.
do they have to? Not when they're born, because that's not old enough.
The reality of it is majority of voters, majority of people in America support the ability for access to choice. So we have to take that in consideration. 61%.
I think it's 70.
According
it's like
to
75% of the Gen Z.
But
isn't it,
see,
that
you all are
don't-
talking
that
about it, and I
support
heard something
limits.
about, we're seeing, I'm not sure where that came from, that the only option for people of color are to have abortions. I don't think that's an argument at all.
Margaret Sanger sold that. Margaret Sanger was the woman that she was a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant who came into the black community
That is not the
to
argument
try
that
to
National
control their
Organization for
population.
Women is making. We
Can I
are
ask you a
basically-
question?
Yes, Dr. Phil, yes.
Thank you. I understand, if I understand it right, your problem is that they're wanting to impose their values on other women.
Absolutely.
If that's their value, that's their value. But your problem is they're wanting to impose it on other women.
Absolutely.
How many of you would agree that you're uncomfortable if the government is telling you what to do on this issue? Okay. And how many of you are uncomfortable, if not the government, but just some other organization is telling you what to do with your body? Okay. How many of you would agree that this other organization, which is pro-life, is not telling another woman what to do with their body? They're intervening on behalf of an unborn child. It's not about telling the mother what to do. They're intervening on behalf of the child, much as they would if, say, if it was a child that was being abused. How many of you look at it from that standpoint? See, I do get it.
But
I
you're
listen
intervening
to-
on behalf of the
Okay.
mother in order to have that point. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, you
No,
can't.
I understand. But you understand that their point, and I try to listen. Let me.
I do understand.
But you're trying to legislate a religious right when we don't all practice the same religion here.
I defend your
Oh, it's
right.
Dr. Phil's show.
Your right.
The midterms are going to be very interesting with regarding this topic. We are out of time again, and I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to the president of the National Organization for Women, Christian Nunez, president of Live Action, Lila Rose, and Louisiana Senator Katrina Jackson. I really appreciate Nancy and Cedric staying around and participating in this show as well. and civil rights attorney Ben Crump. Ben's documentary, Civil, is on Netflix now. It pulls back the curtain on Ben's life as a family man and civil rights leader.
My law partners would rather I not do civil rights cases. They think I've done enough. They always tell me, Ben, we make money a lot easier and more of it doing all these other cases. Why do you continue to want to do these civil rights cases? They're greatly concerned about my safety. They're greatly concerned about my mental health. They're greatly concerned about my family. Everybody who I love is telling me, slow down. You can't slow down because you just feel like you're running out of time. It becomes agonizing.
Thanks for being here today. So long. On an earlier episode with pro-life and pro-choice advocates, pro-life advocate Lila Rose and I disagreed about her assertion that it was a fact that there was a 96% consensus among scientists that life begins at fertilization. I said I did not believe that was a fact supported by science. Now, she respectfully insisted and asked that I support my assertion. Now, to be clear, I'm disagreeing that there is a scientific consensus. And so I'm not in any way commenting on her opinion as to when life begins, or am I expressing mine? My goal was to act as a moderator, allowing both sides to speak. Now, Lila's 96% statement was based on a single study that does not meet scientific standards. A 2018 paper by a PhD candidate in the Department of Comparative Human Development at the University of Chicago claimed that based on a sample of 5,502 biologists, 95% of biologists affirmed the biological view that human life begins at fertilization. Well, that would be 5,212 out of 5,502. However, the actual sample size was 62,429 biologists. And only 5,502 provided analyzable data. So 56,927 did not even weigh in. A professor of philosophy and integrated
Win your favorite sneakers for free. Get a $1,000 gift card now. Check the description.
Biology at the University of Texas at Austin College of Liberal Arts commented on the study as follows. That result is not a proper survey method and does not carry any statistical or scientific weight. He further states that there is neither scientific consensus on the matter of when human life actually begins, nor agreement that it is a question that biologists can answer using their science. The professor emeritus of biology at Swarthmore College says, I really can't tell you when personhood begins, but I can say with absolute certainty there is no consensus among scientists. Many scientists would say they don't know when life begins. There's a series of landmark moments. Medicine can answer the question, when does a biological organism cease to exist? But they can't answer the question, when does a person begin or end? Because these are metaphysical issues. Don't forget to check out my podcast, Fill in the Blanks. Today, I'm speaking with Michael Schellenberger, author of San Francisco, Why Progressives Ruin Cities. He says he believes that America's approach to drug abuse, crime, and homelessness, well, he just says it's insane. He said we've gotten way too soft. Be sure to check out I've Got a Secret with Robin McGraw and find out the secret to finding your squad with digital creator and TikTok's older sister at Tinks. Learn how to find and foster an online community. Be sure to subscribe and follow and listen to both podcasts free on Apple, Spotify, or however you listen to podcasts.